All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. The FA Cup semi-finals action continues, and today we have Manchester City versus Manchester United in another Manchester derby. Should be a very exciting game today. Of course, a place in the final at Wembley at stake. They'll join, of course, Chelsea, who beat Liverpool yesterday. For Harry, should be a good one today.
Yeah, a dramatic win for Chelsea yesterday, confirming their place in yet another domestic final, and now we're going to decide our other finalists. Two sides that, well, know what it takes to win this competition and have ambitions to go on and win trophies this season, and especially in the case of Man United, who look to retain their FA Cup win from last season. For City, they've got an opportunity to play Chelsea for a sixth time and once again join them in the domestic cup final like they did in the League Cup. So a big opportunity for both sides today. Both sides' best and only realistic opportunities of taking silverware away from this season. So a lot riding on this game. Third Manchester derby of the season. Third different competition we've seen these two sides meeting in this season. So it's going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah, do you think there's a lot of pressure on either manager going into today? Because I think, obviously, as you say, this is the only chance, realistically, it's the only chance for City, and it's the only realistic chance United have of claiming a trophy this season. If United came away from the season without a trophy, if City came away from the season without a trophy, which manager do you think is more a risk?
I think that the City answer's very easy. I think there's not much pressure at all on Nick Cushing. He was a free hit. They had to change something. They took a gamble on him managing to beat Chelsea.
But if he was looking at staying, how crucial is an FA Cup win for them to look at him and say, yeah, he's the right man for the job?
Obviously, it would help massively, but again, I don't know. I don't know how much they'll be judging him on going out and winning trophies. But I guess getting to that final and going on and beating United, more importantly, would be a good step in that direction.
I'm also not sure what the intention is for Cushing. I'm not sure there's any intention for him to stay. I think it is just an interim basis, isn't it? They needed someone to come in and do a job. Ultimately, if they do lose today, though, I think you'd have to say that's been a failure.
Yeah.
Because in Cushing's spell, they've been knocked out of the... they lost the League Cup final, they're knocked out the Champions League. They are in a very difficult position now to qualify for Europe in the league. And if they were to lose today, then I think that's an almighty failure. And I have to argue that if Gareth Taylor had stayed, it couldn't have been worse.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no pressure on Cushing today, but there is pressure on Manchester City. As you say, if they lose today, then that gamble they took by sacking Taylor and bringing in Cushing would have been a massive failure by the board. And there will suddenly be a lot of pressure and a lot of questions asked of the higher-ups at Man City as to why on earth they made that decision. So I do think there's pressure on City as a football club today to get a result. Cushing, though, as you say, he's in this role at the end of the season, and that looks to be that. Very different from Man United and Mark Skinner, though, because yes, they've enjoyed a very, very good campaign, and they have played some brilliant football at times. But as you say, failure to win this competition will result in a trophyless season. Obviously that will be a downgrade from last season, but if they end up finishing runners-up in the league, does that equate to winning a trophy, or does that level up the season?
It depends where the priorities are. I think for United, though, the priority has to be getting Champions League football, in which case the league is more important than the FA Cup. But there will be that desire to retain it, and there'll be the idea that there's no reason they can't do both.
Yeah.
And so I think there is a huge push for United to win today. I think, Skinner as a manager, it will help him carry more favour with United fans. We know he's not massively popular amongst United fans for a variety of reasons. But, But I think a trophy does help in that regard. It does help smooth things over if they are successful. And I think they're in a really good position to go and win silverware. It's going to be tough, Chelsea in the final, if they can get through today. But they're also in a really good position to go and qualify for Europe through the league now. Yeah,
and I think that, as you say, you speak about winning trophies, trying to mend that bond with the fans, and I think we saw that a bit last season when he did lead Manchester United to their first major trophy, and that was a brilliant run to the FA Cup, to win the FA Cup. They had a decent end to the season, and they deserved to win that trophy. And United proved, in that campaign that on their day they're a very, very difficult side to beat. If they can back that up, they join Chelsea and Arsenal as the only other sides to ever retain the FA Cup. So it would be a massive achievement for Man United if they were to go, after winning your first ever major trophy as a club, if you can go back that up and retain the same trophy in the next season, that is very good for United because it shows that consistency, which I think has lacked in their kind of results over the last couple of years.
Yeah, indeed. Fokirul, welcome to the stream. Phil, welcome to the stream as well. Welcome to all. And of course, if you are just joining, make sure to get involved in the live chat. And let's have a look though at the lineups. We've only got 10 minutes till kick off now. Let's see who both sides are fielding today. Unfortunately, football have put it very deep on their list of competitions. We'll get into it now. City are the hosts today at the Joey Stadium, and the team is as follows. In goal, it's Kiara Keating, continuing in good form. Back four of... this is put Caroline, it's not. Kasper Pryor, Alexandri and Ua Harvey. In midfield three, it's Hasagawa Park and Laura Coombs, and a front line of Caroline Fowler and Lily Murphy. City without a lot of big players. We mentioned this in the preview on Friday. No Shaw, no Miedemar, still no Hemp, no Greenwood, no Fagino. That's a lot of players to miss.
Yeah, they're probably the first 5 players you'd name if you were saying who's going to be the big players in a cup semi-final for City. So massively depleted, and it's very much going to have a massive impact on this game because they are 5 players that would completely elevate the level of this Man City side. They're going to have to make do, and they have got players on the pitch who have proven they can turn up in the big games. I think Mary Fowler has done a very decent job at replacing as much as she possibly can the outputs from Hemp and Shaw. Caroline showed in that Chelsea game at the Etihad in the league that she is a big game player, and we knew that when Caroline joined the league. Is that these are the kind of games that Caroline turns up for when her side need her most, when her side are in a big cup semi-final. Caroline is a game changer. She can change that. So I do think that City going forward could pack a punch. I think that it is still a very, very good side, but overall massively depleted. It will be another big test of that back line. Can they provide? If Keating pulls off similar saves as she did against Chelsea and the likes, then City will be in this game. And yes, they're massively depleted, but that is that doesn't mean by any stretch that their side isn't good enough to win this football match.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the problem for City is you look at the attack. They're going up against probably the second best defence in Europe this season. And you look at City's blunted attack, and I think, rightfully, there's quality there from Fowler. I think Murphy can provide. We saw that in the League Cup fixture between these two sides.
Yes.
Semi-final, Murphy was brilliant in that game. And Caroline, they're all brilliant attackers, but they are lacking an out-and-out striker. They're lacking a serious goal threat in that regard. I still think that this will be a challenge for United defensively. But for City, when you're going up against one of the strongest defences in the league this season, that's really difficult to deal with. So I think it's going to be tough today for City to find a breakthrough. But United have shown this season they aren't infallible. They have had moments where the defence has been penetrated, has been broken down. You think back to the Aston Villa game 2-2 earlier in the season. That was a really poor showing from United that day. You think back to the League Cup game. I think they let City in too easily when City didn't have their full strength attackers on the pitch. So there's no reason why City can't come in today and win. I just think that they are looking a little bit poor in that front line compared to what they could have, and they will be sorely missing that height, I think, from Miedemar and Shaw. That's going to be the biggest thing. That's how they found a lot of their goals against United this season. Think back to the game in January at the Etihad, the 4-2 loss for City. Their 2 goals came from headers.
Yeah.
And so I think they are going to lack that. That is where United's weakness is, I think, aerially. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for City today. Let's have a look then at the United team. A 4-2-3-1, of course, for United, as per usual. In goal is Fallon Thomas-Joyce. A back four of Riviere, Letitia Turner and Gabrielle George. In the pivot, it's Clinton and Miyazawa. On the right, it's Bizet. On the left-hand side, Leah Galton. Attack midfield, Ella Toon. And leading the line, Elizabeth Turland. Full strength for United then. The biggest talking about point is probably that midfield pivot for United.
Yes, it's a very, very, I think, offensive pivot. I think that, yes, Miyazawa's done very well defensively, but when you're thinking Miyazawa and Clinton are going to be very attacking and potentially could let United down defensively. It will be interesting to see. No Dominic Janssen, which is a shame for United, but when you do compare Man City's depleted side to this Man United side, they've got the full complement pretty much. So it's a very nice position to be in. Skinner had a lot of options to choose from for this game. We saw the likes of Letitia and Turner barely played a minute over the international break. So it's one of those where United are in a very, very good position. They've got a fully sharp and raring to go side that will be up for this match. Again, Mark Skinner was very pleased with the progress and performance he saw from the players that didn't go on international duty, and they had a good 2 weeks for the likes of Gabby George to get back to full fitness and get Matt sharp. So United are in a very, very good position. It's a strong 11. It's an 11 that we've seen, play some beautiful football at times this season. That front four has looked unstoppable. The defence has looked unbreakable. United go into this with a lot of confidence, and they will really fancy themselves to get themselves back into that FA Cup final.
Yeah, definitely. United are a good side. They're really difficult to break down. I think that will be a problem for Manchester City today. David Fraser says Shaw is out. Yes, we also weren't too aware of the situation here. Again, the lack of communication around injuries in the women's game is really frustrating. But yeah, no Khadija Shaw today for Manchester City. No Viviana Miedema. We were more aware of that after she hobbled off in their game for Netherlands on international duty. So yeah, big losses for City, and they are sorely missing a striker. That's a definite thing there.
Yeah.
Michael says, just saw the 6-0, can't wait for midweek. I think Barcelona to hand out another whipping, get ready to roll out the excuses. Well, thank you for the contribution, Michael. I didn't see the 6-0. I assume we're talking about Barcelona because you mentioned Barcelona there. Cool. Liga F. We'll see what happens. It's also not midweek. So join us next Sunday for Chelsea Barcelona.
Yeah, should be a good game, and City will be disappointed they're not there. But they've got to put their eggs into this basket realistically now. They are fourth in the WSL. It's a big gap between them and Arsenal and United to get back into that top three. So for Man City, you feel that they've got to put full focus into this game, and the FA Cup is their last shot at getting anything positive from this season.
Yeah, and it depends where you put your priorities. But if City were to win the FA Cup this year, speaking hypothetically, if they were to win this game and they get through the final, they beat Chelsea in that final, would it be a better season than last season? I mean, they could still finish in the Champions League spot. So if we're talking they're not finishing the Champions League and they win the FA Cup, is that a more successful season?
Potentially.
And they've won more.
They have won more, and I think it's been our biggest criticism of City over the years is that we haven't seen the results and the performances be backed up by trophies, and I do think that's something City do need to start doing. They are a big side. They've shown they can take the fight to the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, and United. They're the only one out of the four of them that haven't won trophies in the last couple of years. So for City, I think there should be a real importance of bringing some silverware, any silverware, back to the Joey.
Yeah, and they sacrificed, I think, the cup competitions last season in favour of really pushing for the league, and then they lost that on goal difference, which I think would have been a very frustrating situation for Man City. But yeah, would be interesting to see. City with a very weak bench as well today. That's something worth saying. Two goalkeepers, Lazell, Weinreuter, Ayama and Lewis. It's lacking anything, really. There are no midfield or attacking options. I mean, Ayama can come in and play the Hasegawa role, but very short on attacking options.
It's one of those where if the game is close, becomes 60, 70 minutes, and United are calling on the likes of Rachel Williams and Melby Mallard, who are City going to turn to? That's their problem. Yeah. So United, full bench, full of quality. If this game is close towards the end of the match, then I think that United will fancy themselves to throw on some subs and to make a real good go of it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the players are out on the field, so we should get into some predictions. Do get involved in the live chat with your predictions if you are watching along. We're going to start here in the studio. So, Harry, you can start as always. What is your prediction for today's game?
I think, City, they're very, very depleted. United have been brilliant this season. I think that, the way they've been playing, they deserve a final appearance, and I think that will show that once again today. I think United will take it 3-1. It will be another pretty close game, but I think that it will be 1-1 at half-time, potentially 1-1 as we get towards that 60, 70 minutes. But as I said, towards the end of the game, when City start to tire and United bring on those fresh legs, I think they'll end up turning the game around and winning it. I think City will take the lead through Mary Fowler. United will equalise before the break through Elizabeth Turland. But then it will be goals from, I'll go Grace Clinton and Melby Mallard to win it for United in the second half and send them back to Wembley for back-to-back years.
Yeah, that's a hell of a game. I am going to say 1-0 United after extra time. It's going to be a really tight game today. I think City will be keen to hold on for as long as possible, and I do think United will get through, though. I think it will be a goal from Ella Toone, I'm going to say 116th minute.
Like it.
Bit like late winner in extra time. difficult game.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to call because the WSL game earlier in the season was 4-2 United. The League Cup quarter-final was 2-1 Man City. So this game could really go either way. And performance would say United, but in terms of City on their day are a very, very good side, and they have already beaten United in a cup competition this season. So who's to say they can't go on to win it today? I just think United look much stronger and have played much better recently. But don't count out Man City. Don't count out Nick Cushing. We know that he's an established manager. He won trophies with City in his earlier spell a few years back. So that they can make a real good go today.
Yeah, definitely. Lucky is backing City in chat. 3-1. He's the only one that is, though. 4-2 United from Phil East and 1-0 United from a Chelsea fan. Both as players taking it in and stand against all forms of discrimination before kick-off here. And then it will be Man City to get us underway. Referee checking that the goalkeepers are good to start. Checking that everyone's ready to get underway here at the Joey Stadium. Mary Fowler from the middle awaits the referee's whistle. And now she'll knock you back, and we're underway here at the Joey Stadium. Manchester City versus Man United. A place and in the FA Cup final at stake. And a chance, as you mentioned earlier, for City to face Chelsea for the 6th time, or for United to get to the consecutive FA Cup final. United in possession. Letitia. Now back to Tullers Joyce. Now Letitia. Ball up the line. And United looking to make something happen quickly here. And Grace Clinton will give it chase. It's Riviere that's going to get there, though. Keeps it in touch. And it just about rolls over the line. Out for a City goal kick for United there. Starting fast. Clearly want to move that ball quickly.
Yeah, ball goes up for Letitia. And United always had a line of 6 chasing after that one. With the front 4, Clinton and Riviere, all in pursuit.
Yeah.
Riviere couldn't quite get there, but as you say, it shows that intent for United. They want to start fast, they want to start positively, get themselves on the ball and really put City under pressure.
And now that pressure you're talking about coming to fruition there. United unlucky not to come away with the ball there. Keating caught in possession. It came off of Elizabeth Turner, and City have just about managed to scramble it. But United there putting a heavy press on them. It's the same sort of pressing structure we've seen be really effective against Man City. Yeah. They're going player for player, and City don't know what to do. They've got Grace Clinton sat high onto Hasegawa. They've got Tuna Turland marking the centre-backs, and they've got the wingers on the full-backs. It's the same thing we saw in the game at the Etihad earlier in this season where United won 4-2. They just pressed Man City. City made the mistakes. People on that day said it was Keating's fault, but it's not. City have got to react to that. And if they don't adapt, like they didn't on that day, they're going to lose in a similar fashion today. Yeah,
but even from that goal kick there, I find it really bizarre to have that you had Alexandria on one corner of the 6-yard box taking the goal kick. You then had Pryor on the other corner of the 6-yard box and Keating in the middle. Surely, I get they want to use the ball, but surely that's really dangerous because as you saw there, Turner runs in and she's already covered off all 3 of them because they're so close to each other.
Yeah.
But I find it just bizarre. It's risky, and we saw again, as you say, it didn't pay off earlier in the season.
Riviere does well to pick up that ball, and now here come United. Still going, Jade Riviere. Great drive for the ball forwards. Alexandria gets in front of it. Now Uahabi and City can play out. Alexandria, Uahabi. Ball up the line. Riviere gets a knock onto it, but it still goes to Mary Fowler. Fowler and Miyazawa both missing it there. Now she'll try and play a ball through, cut out well by George, and United will settle on the ball.
Yeah, Jade Riviere has been a player that, since back from injury at the start of this season, has been absolutely phenomenal. It's no... Obviously, last season we saw Mannion play there, we saw Letitia get a couple games playing as that right back, but Riviere coming back in has been a massive upgrade and a huge boost to United this season.
Well, City have won the ball hard the pitch here. Fowler tries to find Caroline, still battling for it. Big win from Clinton, and now Turner clears it away.
Clinton's done well to recover that because that is something she's got to be careful of playing in that pivot. As she did lose the ball there, and suddenly City were on to United, but she did well. She got back in and she managed to win it back for her side.
Indeed. And Cushing's already frustrated on that sideline. You could see it there. Harvey. Both managers fairly animated.
Yeah.
Now Hasegawa City looking to come down this left-hand side. Murphy squares up to Riviere, looks to take her on now. Strong tackle from Jade Riviere. Firm but fair, and sees out for a goal kick. Good defending from Riviere.
Yeah, it's a great tackle. It's the right idea from Murphy, but Riviere knows exactly where she's going to go and dives in and gets it right. And again, it's what I love about Jade Riviere is that it's the way that she's so strong in both areas of the pitch. Brilliant defensively, but when she can get forward, making that overlapping run beyond Bize, it's very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
It'll be a big game for Murphy. This has been called upon a lot for Man City this season. It's become a bit of a first team regular with the absences that we've seen for them in attacking areas, and she's done well, to be fair. But a cup semi-final, it's another big ask.
It's just a shame that Man City have to, if you're a prospect coming through at somewhere like City, you've got to rely on injuries to get an opportunity, because we've seen this season young players come through and look incredibly comfortable at this level. You had Zara Shaw at Liverpool, again forced a necessity through injury. We've seen it with Gracie Pryor at Man City. We've seen it with Lily Murphy at Man City. Young players given an opportunity will shine.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of clubs don't want to give them that opportunity. Gabby George here, throwing it forwards. Goughton flicks it on. Turner now will look to run in behind. And Kasparov gets it to Alexandria, and they'll get away with that. Keating. Pryor chests it down. Now Alexandria. Pryor. It's a good ball forwards. Cut out by Turner. And now to Clinton. Toon. That's a great ball in behind. Reverse it for Bize. Bize's touch lets her down. Could still get a chance to shoot. And she does and scores. And it's City 0. Manchester United 1. Brilliant ball from Ella Toon. Opens City up and Bize finishes it off well. It's City 0. United 1 after just 5 minutes here at the Joey Stadium. And that was too easy. Way too easy for United. City carved open wonderfully by Ella Toon.
It's an absolutely brilliant ball from Ella Toon, and that's what she does in these big games when her side need her to perform. That is an absolutely beautiful defence-splitting pass into Bize. She holds the run really well up against Uahabi. Her first touch lets her down, but she does well to chop it back onto her right foot, and that is a brilliant curling finish past Keating. The first touch is good, but the recovery is so much better. Touch really lets her down, but the way she cuts it back and bends it into that corner is very, very strong.
The poor control hands City's defenders a lifeline, and none of them take it. Pryor commits for it, misses the ball. She didn't need to commit for that.
No.
Uahabi could close the angle. She just doesn't. And Keating left with no hope there, because Bize gets a clear shot on goal from the edge of the area, which Celine Bize is not going to do anything else but put that into the top corner, which she pretty much does. Brilliant effort from Bize. United lead 1-0 now, and now suddenly it's an uphill battle for City, but that's really poor defending.
Yeah, it's sloppy. It's sloppy, but take nothing away from United. They've started superbly. They've come out. They couldn't. They smell blood. They want to win this game. They're here. They're going for the kill early doors, and they've reaped the reward for it. They've got a goal, a beautifully created goal, and they've put themselves in a really strong position now. As you say, they've set themselves up very nicely. We saw when Liverpool took the lead against Chelsea yesterday how difficult it was for the Blues to end up turning that result over. That's what happens when you concede this early on in a semi-final. It makes it very, very difficult to pull it back.
And that's one of those world-class moments from Ella Toon where that's what you want to see more often on a consistent basis. Her come up with those little moments, but you see it every now and then. It's just pure magic. To spot the pass there of Celine Bize and then to pull it off with the correct weight and fantastic pass.
Yeah, and it backs up what's been a really strong start to this year, this calendar year for Ella Toon, especially when you compare it to the start of this season. But 2025 has been good for Toon so far, and from an England point of view, in a year that involves the Euros, it's very exciting to see.
Yeah. Mark Howard talking about Riviere saying Jade's giving the national team blue ball. She's so impressive, but spends so much time injured. We've never really had her for a major tournament. That's a shame because she's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And has been crucial in United's success this season. And to be fair, she has stayed fit, relatively fit all season. I mean, obviously she missed the first few weeks, or first month, but since then she has stayed fit. So encouraging signs for Riviere City with an aimless ball up the line, and that'll be a United throw.
I have to say, I really like this custom ball from Mitre for Manchester United as the holders of the FA Cup. A gold and purple ball, which is quite good for them. I hope they get to keep. I don't think they get to keep it, but it does look quite nice.
There you go.
So not only can they retain their FA Cup trophy if they win today, they might also have a good chance of retaining their holders ball.
Love it. Here is Keating. Ball long, and Fowl loses that physical battle, drops in there for Laura Coombs. Now Pryor. Is Ward injured today as well?
I would presume. Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because
so.
if not, that's a really
shot in the squad. So,
Yeah. Well, no one's in the squad.
yeah, no, it
You
massive.
don't have any play.
No. Have to say, boy, for United, them and big games are going, and these knockout games are going really nicely at the moment. Over the last couple of years, it took them only 3 minutes to break the deadlock against Chelsea in last year's semi-final. Only took
another
them
5 minutes after that.
Yeah.
To find a second.
They're so good at starting fast and hitting sides really early in these kind of games, and it makes them very, very difficult to beat in cup knockout in matches.
But also, they've then got the defence, and they adjust appropriately to manage those games. I think City is a bit of the Conti Cup fixture or Subway League Cup fixture earlier this season, and that's a bit of a outlier because of the nature of that game. The fact that it was a few days after they'd just faced the same opposition, it does always make things more difficult, and it probably explains why City beat Chelsea in the Champions League this season. In that first leg. But yeah, I think United, as you say, are proving to be a very good cup team. We've not seen them in the Champions League though.
No.
And that's going to be really interesting to see what they can do in that competition.
And exactly, that may throw a curveball, because over 90 minutes, if they play the way they have in some of these FA Cup and League Cup games, and they're going to be a very, very difficult side if they get to those knockout stages.
Someone says, I can't get over the font on City's shirt. Is it the squiggly one?
Yeah, it's that.
I hate that one.
Yeah, I don't get why they use it.
It's the one that they use in any competition that will let them.
Yeah.
Because in things like the WSL and the Champions League, they have mandated fonts.
Yeah.
But maybe not Champions League, actually. WSL, though. Because I think they've used a squiggly one in the Champions League. But in the WSL, they've got a mandated WSL font. In this competition, though, they can use whichever font they wish.
Yeah.
So they use squiggly.
Unreadable. Yeah. And that's the thing, we've played at just over 10 minutes here, and you're now asking Man City to score 2 goals in 80 minutes against this United backline. Yes, some teams have done it this season, but it's been on very rare occasions.
Yeah, I mean, United have got the least goals conceded in the league.
And if it wasn't for them getting torn apart at Anfield, that margin would be even bigger.
Yeah.
Well done, Liverpool.
Indeed. Turner getting up and winning it. Miyazawa, strong and physical in there against Jess Park. Turland. She came from an offside position there. That will be a City free kick. Alexandri. Now Pryor. Oh, Michael's just talking to you, Harry. He says, hello, Harry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm having a great day.
Harry's good. Keating plays it into Uahavi. Coombs can't hold it up. Clinton now to Riviere. She takes her time about trying to deliver that. Uahavi stands her up well, but United do know how to throw in. Summer asks, in your guys' opinion, did you think Bizet was offside?
No.
She didn't look it.
No, I think
Perhaps in a replay.
It looked tight between her and Uahavi, but I think Pryor was keeping her on.
Ball into the box. Turland stabs it back to Toon. Toon pokes it into the box. Not dealt with here by Man City. Caroline shoved off the ball. Here's Galton to George. Can she keep it in touch? She can. Drills across the box. Chance for United. And that's a chance that goes begging. Cleared away well there by Laura Coombs. But surely, someone for United's got to get to that ball.
It's absolutely brilliant from Gabby George. The ball is perfect. She cuts it back brilliantly. Keeps it away from Pryor. How is no one there in a United shirt making that run?
The problem is there is. Toon's gone for the slightly delayed run. There's a United player coming in, but Coombs is in front of them. And there's a United player at the back post. So it's well dealt with by Coombs. maybe Georgia just got to get her head up there
Yeah.
and see where Toon is and cut it back to her. Because if she does, that's 2-0.
Yeah.
More likely than not.
City have got to early weather this early storm, because at this rate, United are going to get a second or a third, and then suddenly that's game over.
Turner wins it well. Toon to Galton, back to Toon. Lovely football. Toon tries to go to Galton again. It falls for Toon, who put it into the box now, and that goes into the corridor of uncertainty. But it's Keating who collects it.
Again, another good ball, just not any runners, but it's really tidy football from United in these close quarters areas. We saw the combination there between Galton and George, which led to the ball in. Another combination there between Toon and Galton. United are moving the ball really nicely when they win it back. And City are struggling to keep up with it.
Here's Letitia. Now Riviere. That looked like a handball from Murphy, but her arm was in a natural position, so it's all right. Here's Hasegawa. Hounded there by Ella Toon. And that is a free kick there given by the linesman.
Yeah, I think Toon just had too many nibbles there. Not really anything sinister in it, just kept biting at the heels of Yui Hasegawa, and eventually it just was a little bit over the top. Again, United absolutely hounding City.
But that's the best way to play against them. Press them hard. Offside call there on Caroline.
Yeah.
That's a rookie error.
They've pressed them high, forced the ball to go long, and they've picked out an offside player. And now Man United have got themselves back on the ball.
I think the big question there has to be why Caroline is offside.
No idea. Because she's had to drop deep to come and get the ball.
United throwing now on the far side. Riviere to take.
Yeah. Now, this is where questions come with Cushing and City. Can they find something to try and mount any kind of challenge? Because if the game carries on like this, United will just see this through to the end of the game.
Hasegawa lumps it forward. Caroline's going to give chase. George will get there though and knock it out of touch.
Yeah, smart defending that, but that is a key battle that City could look to exploit if they can get the ball. We saw how Caroline, has caused the likes of Neve Charles problems this season.
Yeah. How many times, by the way, do you think BBC are going to cut to Shaw and Miedemar? Because they've done it twice in 16 minutes.
Oh no, I've seen that injury bench way too many times. And I get they've got a lot of injuries, but
Caroline pokes it inside. Fowler gets the touch on. Murphy to Fowler. Back to Murphy. Gets a shot away. Tame effort, though, and wide of the mark.
Yeah, didn't quite catch it right. Her first touch didn't get out of her feet, so she didn't quite catch it properly. And a worrying sign for Man City is Mary Fowler is on the deck. And this will be the last thing they need, because
They don't have any attackers.
No.
This will be worrying.
She just plays the 1-2, stretches.
Yeah, you can see that. She feels it immediately. Just plants it wrong, I think.
She stretches to get there.
Oh, you can see the knee go.
And yeah, Murphy
That
just didn't get that touch right.
It's already a knee that has strapping on the back of it. And she overextends to try and control the ball.
Yeah.
I think it just goes there.
Yeah. City are going to have to find a solution to this problem then.
I can't. I think Fowler's. That's the end of Fowler's afternoon.
Does Park go out wide and they bring on a Yarma? That feels like the only.
Who's going up front? Caroline?
Oh yeah, I forgot going up front. Murphy goes up front. Park goes out wide, and then
Yarma comes.
And then Yarma goes in the middle. That is I feel like that's the most reasonable suggestion.
They were watching a replay of it on the injury bench.
On Greenwood's phone.
And they were all worried.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there is counting how many times they've cut to City's injured players, that's number 3 in 18.
I think Mary Fowler is going to go out and have to go join them.
Well, I think she'll probably go to the medical room rather than the injured player.
I hate teams that use injuries as an excuse, but from City's point of view, I think it's not the excessive number, it's the damage done in one position.
It's the concentration on just it being the attacking players, but then by the same token, City haven't recruited well enough over recent years. They left themselves in a position where, and people go, well, yeah, but they've had both their strikers get injured and both their wingers get injured. And yeah, that is true. But the problem is as well, the reason their second striker got injured is because she's played middle midfield all season.
Yeah.
So to rely on a player who's playing another position, there is a high risk that there's going to be an injury there. Yes, they've been unfortunate with the number of injuries they've had, and they've got to look at that internally. Why are they getting so many injuries?
Yeah.
But they could have recruited to
and
sign more players.
it is something they need to look at, because there is an element of unluckiness in it, but that only extends so far. With a football club like Man City picking up so many injuries so consistently, it needs to be addressed. It does.
Yeah.
But yeah, United, they've started well, taking that early lead. It's been a really good first 20 minutes for them. They've been absolutely brilliant. They've been brilliant in the majority of games this season. And credit to Skinner and everyone at United, because once again, they're turning up in a big game and are in complete control of it against their rivals.
Is Potty Pritchard injured, by the way?
Did she come back from Palace?
They recorded in January, and then she's just not had a look in.
There's no way. If she's injured as well, then they might as well put any shots. So Mary Fowler's back to her feet. I'll be surprised if she's carrying on, but City haven't readied anyone, so she might be right to continue, which does surprise me, because that didn't look good at all.
They let her go on loan to Newcastle.
Oh yeah.
Mid-injury crisis.
That doesn't make any sense either. Because in January they did have Shaw and Hemp and all that out, so why would you loan out your young striker?
Letizia. But that's the thing. Shaw's now had 2 injuries this season.
Yeah.
Because they probably rushed her back too quickly.
Yeah.
Miedemar has had 3 injuries. Because, again, they probably rushed her back too quickly. At some point, they've got to take a bit of accountability. Why has that happened as a club? Why have they had so many injuries?
And even now, because Fowler's off, they're down to 10 because they haven't made a sub and Fowler hasn't come back on the pitch yet. And United are looking to punish that right now. And they're moving the ball really nicely, Man United. City can keep up with 11, let alone with 10.
Yeah, the question is for City, what do they do now? Because they could bring a Yama on, but she's played 40 minutes for them, I think.
So who else? If Fowler can't continue, what do they do?
Weinreuther on the wing?
Maybe.
Caroline through the middle, something like that?
I have no idea.
Ball into the box. Chance for United, and they will capitalise on that extra player. City 0, United 2. Grace Clinton heads home, and United, after 20 minutes, double their advantage. Grace Clinton with the header. City left without a player and now down by 2 goals.
United in complete control. They've started this final brilliantly, and they're capitalising on City errors and City injuries. 2 goals in 20 minutes. The midfielders orchestrating this superbly. It's a brilliant ball in. No one picks up Grace Clinton. It's not even that. She just muscled off Gracie Pryor too easily. Clinton doesn't actually run in. Clinton's always in that 6-yard box. She just waits. She nudges Pryor out of the way, heads it past Keating, and United lead by 2, and they are in complete control of this semi-final. Brilliant header. Really good stuff
But
from
why
Clinton.
are there 2 players in there? A City player's got to be in there dealing with that.
Yeah. It's your own 6-yard box. Keating's got to deal with it. City have got to deal with it. And well, now it is a long way back if they want to stand any chance.
But also, it's in the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
Where's Kiara Keating?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Come and claim that.
They've got to deal with it.
So at the moment, City are playing a 4-2-3. With Park operating as a striker. I think that may indicate then that it's a Yama coming on, and they'll move back to the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And put Park up front. But
they have to do it quickly. But no offence, but Fowler went down 6 minutes ago. So were they not getting a Yama ready?
I don't know. I wouldn't have let the medical team take her off the pitch until there was a sub ready.
I'd have tried everything. I'd have got her up and then sat her back down again. Again, it's game management. If Fowler's gone down, why have you not sent people out to get warmed up and ready?
The guys have been walked past Bella too. City are getting played off the park here. Galton back towards the path of Toon. Shimmy's past Pryor. Chance for United. Toon's got to do better with that one. Big save from Keating, but she's got to do better there at the two.
Yeah.
Just rushes it, but she's got to strike across goal.
Yeah.
Big opportunity. That would have killed the game.
Either side of the goalkeeper, and that is game set match. It's brilliant football once again. Galton and Toon combining, lovely little shimmy.
Lovely to take it past Pryor, but yeah, just hits it straight at Keating.
She
It's
had
a good
time
stop.
to take another touch and take her just closer to and set herself
Yeah.
a bit more.
Not much sure she needed it though.
No, just should have done better with it. But really good stuff for United. But City, are they just choosing to play with Tech? Lazel's come on finally. So I don't know what that does.
5-2-3, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe.
Lazel into the back five. It's just, yeah.
They haven't got
Tactics
Yeah.
are out the window. Unless Harvey's playing higher or midfield or Alexandria defensive
And you
midfield.
feel potentially,
Something like that.
yeah. But you feel with Fowler coming off with another City injury, they're already 2-0 down this game. You feel they're at a point where they're just going to see out the next 65 minutes and just they're just participating at the moment.
Kaspar's playing right wing, I think.
Potentially.
Or Lazel's playing right wing, actually. No, Lazel's right back. Kaspar's playing right wing.
Well, yeah. It's just a rubbish scenario to be in for Man City. Horrendous.
So Caroline through the middle. And this will be Kaspar's first chance. I thought she was going to get on the ball there at right wing. Unfortunately, pass out from Caroline out for a throw.
It's a shame because injuries have ruined what could have probably been a really competitive semi-final.
Yeah.
I don't like to go on about it, but when they've got so many, and then you see Mary Fowler off down the tunnel with another one, what on earth's going on?
Combs to Park, Alexandri, Harvey, City coming forwards down this left-hand side. That's the other thing for City. They've not had any long-term injuries, necessarily. I know, like, a few months for Greenwood and Hemp, but the epidemic of the women's game has been ACL injuries. It's not that for City. It's just so many different injuries. I mean, the Fowler one very much could be. We'll have to see. It's a knee injury. To what extent that knee injury is, we'll have to see. But they've not had loads of ACL injuries. It's just been various different problems.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can go, oh, maybe it's the surface they're playing on. What is happening? It's why all of their players breaking.
And the thing that punishes you, in modern football, when you are a side at the top level, a player missing a month could miss 6 or 7 games. That's why it's been so heavy. Because Shaw and Progino picked up injuries and missed all of the Chelsea.
Well, that's the other thing to look at, isn't it? The fact that once a player gets injured, because their squad isn't massive, suddenly someone's having to play every game, and if that's 6 in a month, that is going to take its toll. Especially if you've then got international duty, you're then playing another 6 next month. That's good.
But it stems back right to the start of the season, though, when we saw the likes of Khadija Shaw playing against St Polton and Hammarby. And again, I understand they wanted to win those games, but why on earth were Hemp and Shaw playing against much weaker sides in the Champions League? I'll never know. Because there's 4 games there where if you'd benched both of them for all 4 of those games against St Polton and Hammarby, that would have been an extra 270 minutes that neither of them would have played.
Gareth hated rotating anyway.
Yeah.
He only did it when there were injuries.
It's one of those where I think that it's a massive positive I'm seeing if they do finish 4th this season, is that without that Champions League football, they will have a year where they will be...
Well, we saw it the year before, and they were set in the league and very much could have won it, but they didn't kick on in the summer.
No.
You look at them; they've still only until January they had 4 midfield options. Hasagawa's played every match this season in every competition, bar I think 1 round of the League Cup. I think Ayama went in for. So, I mean, the fact that Hasagawa's not injured is a miracle, but it goes a long way to explain why there are so many injuries.
Yeah.
Approaching half an hour here, City are actually trying to come forwards now, which is good to see.
Yeah, they've still got to try and make a go of this. If they get one back, then they're suddenly in the game. But the problem is, I just don't see. I don't see United not scoring again in the next hour.
Lays out, throws to Park. The biggest compliment I can give to United at the moment is they are making an 11-player City look like they've got 10 or 9 on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because United's work rate is so much higher. That's really good from Alexandri.
Oh,
but it falls to Miyazawa, and that is a peach of a pass finding Bizet on the right-hand side. United coming forward. Bizet doubled up on, takes it past one. Murphy gets back in, though, and City do recover. United had such an overload there. Probably should have done better with that chance.
Yeah, Bizet, it just had to release it quicker or had to do something with it quicker.
Well, I think it was Clinton initially. She came inside, and she's been doing that where City haven't noticed. Alexandria read it. She saw exactly what Clinton was trying to do there. And she came inside and she made a really important tackle. George with the ball into the right area there. Toon not sprinting off.
I don't think Toon realised that it was coming to her.
No. Just jogged and then decided it was too late.
Yeah, another offside against City where the player has ran back to receive the ball. So Caroline again runs back to receive the ball, but has come from an offside position. That's sloppy offsides they keep picking up. But wow, as you say, I think it's a massive shame for City, and it's not necessarily their fault in certain aspects, but you have to give full credit to United because they're playing brilliantly.
Here is Gabby George. Plays it in behind. That's a brilliant ball. Ella Toon unable to adjust her body though.
Yeah, right run. Just couldn't bring it down properly.
I don't really know what she did there with it though. She could have just let that go past her and then taken it in her stride.
Yeah, it had a lot on it. I think she ought to bring it down just because if she lets that run, then
but even so, chest it down. Just sort of hit her in the.
I think that's what she's tried to do, just didn't quite get it right.
So they're grabbing Hasegawa, and that is a free kick.
Yeah, telling someone that hasn't really got into this game.
Hasn't needed to.
No, she hasn't. That is true. And it helps when you've got Toon and Clinton behind you are just, bossing that midfield. Very difficult to get on the ball. This is better from City. Top defending. Really good defending.
But again, Turner's contribution won't be what's noticed because United's strength at the moment is by getting the ball out wide and then looking for cutbacks. And Turland's, what she's doing very well is by being that high option, she's opening up space for the cutbacks.
Yeah.
Because City's defenders are going to drop to deal with Turland and then leave the space for Toon and Clinton.
Yeah.
And while the goals haven't come that way, that's what they're looking to do. The goals have come from a great ball in behind to Bizet, who ran into that central space. The only reason there was space there is because Turland had dropped in. So that pulled the centre-halves with her and left the space for Bizet. And then obviously the corner. And Turland is very much a goal scorer, and that is it. And that's okay. You need players like that sometimes. Different players, I don't know what this is from United. Different players have different roles, and I think it's fine to be just a goal scorer. But the problem is when you don't then score, you don't really contribute in that game.
Yeah, that was really narrow from United from their own goal kick. Everyone was just in the same right half of the pitch as that goal kick went up. Just trying to be compact and just trying to suffocate City almost. Because we've already seen United doing very well to link up in those close spaces.
It's drawing the space, everyone over to that side, and then you win the ball there, and someone makes the run over to the other side. You play it over there, and then there's loads of space. It's the thought process, I guess, from United there. It didn't work. Those two players, they all just run into each other.
Yeah, Skinner United have played this to a T so far. He looks, I wouldn't say he looks happy with how they've played, but I'm sure he's probably more chuffed than he looks.
He won't be happy till 90 minutes, that's what we say. If you stop to celebrate on 30, then you get complacent.
Yeah.
But he has sat down while Cushing is still enigmatic on the sideline.
Yeah. Big 13 minutes this, because if City can try and make a dent, or at least try get something positive, even if it's not a goal, but just get a good passage of play together before the half, and that might give them something to fight with. But at the moment, United are just going to find themselves almost cruising into this final. They've started really well again. It's not quite the capitulation we saw at the Etihad from City, but United, they've caused the same problems, just not on such a large scale, and it means that they scored 3 goals in 20 odd minutes. 2 goals in 20 minutes still isn't bad though.
Turland, that's a great touch and turn to take it past Pryor. Alexandria comes in to intercept, and Turn, I think, just panics there and tries to fizz a ball over to Bizet.
Yeah.
But that turn of really high quality.
Offside again.
Behind, Caroline offside, but it's going to run through to Tar's choice anyway.
Got to start holding that run, Caroline. Too many offsides already today.
Yeah. Riviere lifts it in behind. Here's Bizet. Players queuing up in the box, waiting for the cross. She cuts in, strikes with her left foot, and it's saved well by Keating. Bizet just couldn't quite get that under control in there.
Yeah.
Forced to cut inside and take a shot herself.
There were options in the middle, but as you say, by the time she brought it down and was ready to cross it in, she realised that it would have just been blocked. So found it easier just to cut back and have a go.
That touch just prevented it from being a ball across the box.
Yeah, well played.
He could have zipped it across sooner, I think,
Yeah.
rather than trying to control it.
Potentially.
Could have gone straight across the box.
But again, another brilliant switch out wide, another ball into Bizet, who was causing problems down that right. Again, Turland challenging well with Pryor. It's been an interesting battle. I wouldn't say either of them are winning it currently, but it has been a good tussle between the two. Yeah, again, we've seen Pryor do quite well in certain games against top strikers, and she's had another decent game today.
Ball into the box. Headed on there by Coombs. Brilliant effort from Caroline. And a good start from Tyler's Choice to Denia.
Yeah.
Acrobatic there from Caroline.
Out of nowhere, really. Just falls to her and she just decides that she's going to have a go. And I don't mind that. With her back to go on the volley. Forces a good save from Tyler's Choice.
It's a quality effort.
But yeah, does very well to find the target with that. Would have been going in.
And Tyler's Choice, one of the best performing keepers in the league this season. And again, coming up good there. Tipping over the bar.
You'd think a shot over your shoulder on the volley might be enough to beat her, but no, not quite. Still saved. And a good stop of that. That's better for City. That's the first shot of any meaningful quality. And they've now got to try and build on that.
Oh, Harvey. Delivers it in there at the front post. Park strikes it, not enough behind it. That's cleared away by Turland. Hasegar will bring it down. Puts it back up in the air. Gabby George heads it clear. Park, though, will try and get it under control to recycle it. Under pressure from Turland. Alexandri. Now Kasparai will chip it back to Kiara Keating.
Park will want to do better.
The problem is that lets United get back into shape now.
Park will want to do much better with that volley. Just didn't fall to her properly. Kind of fell on top of her, and she just couldn't get underneath it and give it a good get a lot of power behind it.
Ashkan tries to go up the line. Riviere cuts it out, and now United could break. Celine Bizet. Riviere tries a give and go. Doesn't come off the first time. They have made it work though. Riviere tries to play it in behind. Clinton fights for it. Ella Toon. Good control. Now Miyazawa. And they'll come down the left-hand side now. Turner into George. George now up the line. Gautam with something to chase. And Lazelle will knock it back to her goalkeeper. Cleared long from Keating. Caroline muscled off by Turner. George doesn't react quick enough though. And here's Hasegawa. Now Alexandri, Hasegawa. Nice give and go. And that finds Uahabi now. Murphy wants to take on Riviere. She'll cut inside. Too readable. And that's dealt with. Good tackle again from Jade Riviere.
No, it's just really good. As you say, it's that reading of the game. It's not only your execution of the interceptions, but it's that reading of the game.
It helped that Murphy made it quite readable,
Yeah.
to be fair. A bit of deception there wouldn't have gone amiss. City ball into the box, goes over City heads. Uahabi looks to recycle it now. To Alexandri. She'll just put it back in the box. Uahabi, she'll now deliver it. And that is a really poor delivery. And that is out for a goal kick.
And that'll be really disappointing because this has been a better spell from City. And Uahabi has been given so much space. So much space on that left hand side to put the ball in. She's not under any pressure and still manages to put way too much on it. Had to be a better ball. Players waiting in the area, had to be a better ball in. But it's been a more positive spell from City. Just starting to get themselves on the ball, starting to get into United's third. It's better. Problem is, when you are 2-0 down in the semi-final, you've got to make those positive spells count. And so far, I haven't done that. But still got 7 minutes till half-time to try and make a difference.
Tyler's Choice. We'll send this ball long for United. Turland flicks on. And now City settle into possession. Keating. Try and go in the air there. You just risk the ball so much.
Yeah.
I know they need to bring in a bit more risk into the game, City, so they can. That's the best way to try and find a route to goal. But the chance of them actually progressing from a chipped ball towards the fullback of United players around her was low. And that looked like a foul from Clinton, but she'll get away with it. To Miyazawa, to George, and it's sloppy from United, and somehow they get away with it. The City falls over. Picked up on now by Hasegawa. It's a good chance for City. Lays it out wide. Kasrai. Not a bad ball in. Miyazawa deals. George clears away. Toon. Pokes it over the head of Lazel. And Galton's breaking now for United. Options to the right-hand side for Leia Galton. She'll drive inside. Lifts it in behind. Bizet. The touch. The shot. Save well. Pokes it goalwards. Wide of the mark. Good chance for United.
Wow. Big chances at both ends. United really sloppy at the back. City should have punished. They're a complete mess of the attack. United pounce on it. Break away really nicely. Great ball from Galton. Touch from Bizet again. Lets her down a little bit. The first shot's all right. Saved by Keating. And then she just completely rushes the follow-up. She tries to release it before Keating can get back up and gets it all wrong. But City didn't make enough of it, make enough of United errors at one end, and then nearly got caught out at the other. Bit more end to end, bit more what we expected from this game. But City, they're coming to life in this game. It has to be said, they are starting to give United something to think about, which is better, more positive.
Tough choice, sending it forwards. City win it back. Now United regain possession. Bizet. Lovely turn. Finds Clinton, who holds onto the ball well. Really good hold-up play. Bizet. Riviere. Now back to Miyazawa. Riviere. Letitia. That's one back in there by Coombs. Now Murphy. Park. Just up the line, Caroline. That's a good give and go. Ball down the left-hand side now for Manchester City. Caroline wants to take on Letitia. Does well. Cuts it back. No one there for City. Coombs will get there. And that is dealt with by United. Still alive here, though, for Man City. But yeah, there's no one up there for City. They want the ball back high. Bust a gut to get into the box. And that's 2-1 potentially. Ball into the box. Claimed well by Talis Joyce. Caroline does really well. Takes on Maya Letitia, beats her.
Yeah.
What more can you ask of a player? Does so well there. And then, just no one waiting for the cutback.
Yeah, she does.
They can see it's going to happen. Yeah. They're jogging in the middle of the park from Manchester City.
So good from
outrageous.
From Caroline, sorry. And as you say, she does the unpredictable thing.
Murphy and Coombs in there.
Letitia thinks Carolyn's going to cut inside. Instead, she dummies it and goes to the inside and pulls it back. And massive wasted opportunity.
You can see Murphy and Coombs, both can see what's going to happen. Both know at least City are going to get forwards in that. And they're jogging back.
Yeah.
Kasperai holds up the ball well, plays to his right-hand side. Jess Parker will get there ahead of Gabby George. George is a very good tackle and then pokes out of play. Risky one, but she gets it right. Yeah. Great tackle from Gabby George.
Really good defending. But again, City winning the ball back and being positive. They're moving it forwards. They're getting those balls in, down those wide channels. Starting to create a few more opportunities, our Man City. And now they're hoping that half-time whistle never comes. Unfortunately, they've only got 3 minutes.
Oh, there should be some stoppage time, so there's still time for City here. Caroline. Now Alexandre. Pryor. Finds Park. He wants to take it past Galton. One back in there by Galton. Gabby George will send it up the line. And now Alexandre in possession.
We saw yesterday how a goal just before the end of the first half can make a massive difference to the outcome of the game. If Chelsea hadn't scored in the additional time of the first half, would they have scored? It massively helped them, massively changed the game. So if City can pull one back before half time, it could make a difference and will massively help them in the second half.
Alexandre. Now Hasegawa. Park. Hasegawa. Park. Hasegawa. That's it.
Too slow though. This is
waiting for opening.
Yeah.
It will Harvey. And Coombs, lovely give and go down this left-hand side. Harvey now will look to deliver it. Takes a touch. Bezo will see it out. She thought she could just catch her unaware there.
Yeah. It's good from City when they move the ball quickly. When they move it too slowly, they allow United to get in, set in their shape, and it's very difficult. When they move it quickly, they pull players around, and United can't quite keep up. So they've got to do more of that. Get those combinations in the wide areas going, and see what they can do, and try and make use of these last few minutes. Because they're not doing badly. They are moving. When they are moving the ball quickly, they've caused a couple of problems. When they've got the likes of Caroline on the ball, they've looked pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
The problem is they've given themselves a lot of work to do.
Clinton sends that forwards. Now Alexandra will get on the ball and knocks back to her goalkeeper. Keating. Now Pryor. Up the line into Lazelle. Holds it up nicely. That's a poor pass though, and that's Turlin to Toon. United are coming forwards. Toon held on to it, went the wrong way, and then held on to it too long. So that counter breaks down. Gabby George, important tackle there. So again, a poor pass back. Galton almost passing it straight to Caroline. Letitia lifting it in behind, looking for Jade Riviere, unable to keep it in touch. 5 minutes longer in this first half then. 5 minutes of additional time. Makes sense, we had the Fowler injury.
Yeah.
And of course 2 goals as well.
It's enough time to get a goal for City to pull one back. Everyone reaching for jumpers and coats in the crowd. Maybe it's got a bit chilly. Again, though, sloppy from City. From their own throw, it's a give and go. And the ball's been given back, and Harvey stood off the pitch.
Yeah.
Not just they've been more positive, they've been better, but still not good enough. Not good enough in terms of it's not enough to pull back a 2-goal deficit in a FA Cup semi-final.
Kasperai finds Caroline up the line. Looking to come forwards, pokes one through. George with a big tackle.
Kasperai's looked, when she's got on the ball, she looked pretty not Kasperai, sorry, Caroline, when she got on the ball, looked pretty dangerous. And I think, and we said this, these are the type of games that she loves. These are the type of games that she can come up big in for her side. The problem is they're 2-0 down and no one else is pulling their weight so far. Again, they try and move it quickly from their own throw and they nearly give it away, but luckily Hasegawa wins it back.
Here's Park. Now Hasegawa tries to play it forwards, cut out by Turner. Clinton now. Galton, George. Lazelle keeps it in touch. One back in there by Naomi Lazelle. Harvey. Doing really well to compete for and keeps it in touch there up against Bizet. Bizet with a big tackle gets it to Riviere. United have come under the cosh in this last 20-15 minutes.
Yeah, Bizet's got away with one there because she's tried to see it out and not judge the pace of the ball. But yeah,
I think City will feel frustrated they've not found a goal because they've had chances here. And the problem comes is, are they going to see that same amount of chances in the second half?
Yeah, as a massive difference between 2-0 and 2-1. If they go into half time 2-1 down, then they know that all they need to do is find a goal and they'll send us to extra time. But being 2-0 down with needing at least 2 goals in the second half, it is going to be an almighty stretch. But if they pick up where they've left off in this half, then potentially they'll be able to do it.
Hasegawa, Pryor. United still working hard to keep City at bay. Pryor, there's a lot of space in there that she could have exploited.
Yeah.
This is the wrong player in the wrong position.
Yeah, didn't back herself.
Park. Now Alexandra. Murphy back to Jess Park. Time's ticking on this first half.
Yeah.
If City do want to try and find a goal to get them back in the game, an effort from range, saved well by Tullis Joyce.
Why not?
You saw that one all the way.
Why not from Alexandria? I don't mind that at all. You've been given the space to have a shot. You fancy it. You're 2-0 down. This kind of game. A wonder strike from there is the type of thing that A, could catch Tullis Joyce out, but also B, rejuvenate your side. Not a bad effort. She does well. Keeps it down. Keeps it on target. Forces a comfortable save out of Tullis Joyce, but it is a shot. And that's what City need, really.
And that, quite confusingly, as it's early, is half time.
Oh. Ref didn't fancy the final 45 seconds.
There we go. Half time here at the Joey Stadium. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. City probing as that half drew to a close, but ultimately couldn't find a goal. United with 2 in the first 20 minutes, but other than that, they've slowed down since then.
Yeah,
serving. I'm gonna go grab a drink and I'll let you
grab me one as well, please.
Of course.
I think that it's a very similar story to what we saw at the Etihad in the WSL game, where United blew City out of the water into the game, but there was one big problem, and that problem was that they gave themselves way too much work to do. And again, it feels like a similar sentiment here today, is that City were played off the park to start the match. They've grown into the game. They've played better in the last 10-15 minutes, but they're already 2-0 down. They've already got a load of work to do, and whether they can turn this around in the second half is a big ask. There's a chance. There's always a chance you can turn over a 2-goal deficit in football, but it's a very, very difficult one. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Can they make a dent in this United lead? Because United, sitting comfortably, it did get a little bit nervy towards the end of that first half as City started to come on strong. But this speaks volumes, by the way. Man United have had more shots on target than City have had shots. United have been really clinical. City have had 5 shots to United 7. United, though, have put 6 shots on target. City have only put 1. The United have been so clinical. Really strong in front of the goal. Testing Keating at every opportunity. To have 7 shots and put 6 on target is mighty impressive, because it shows that when they're getting into that final third, when they're getting into good areas, they're making it count, they're putting City under pressure, they're hitting the target, and they're either scoring goals or they're forcing Keating into some very, very good saves. So really strong from United. It was a brilliant first 20-25 minutes or so, where they found themselves 2-0 up, scored 2 decent goals. It was a really good finish from Bizet for the first goal. Lovely football in the build-up. A brilliant ball from Ella Toon to pick out Bizet. Bizet's touch, a little bit heavy, but she cuts back onto her right foot and curls it into the far corner past Keating. Nothing she could have done about it. Really good finish from Bizet, who has enjoyed a really creative season for United, but getting involved in the goals today as well, which is big for her. She could have had a couple more as well. She's forced Keating into a couple of good saves. But yeah, really good from Toon for that first goal. United started fast. That came in the 5th minute. So again, another really fast, really high intensity start from Man United. We've seen them do it time and time again this season. And it's been a really effective way of beating teams, is that they've just started so well that the other team just haven't got going, and United end up in a really comfortable position very early in the game. And again, ball over the top from Toon. Bizet cuts back, fires it into the far corner, and United are 1-0 up after 6 minutes. And already, in such a big game, placing the FA Cup final at stake, starting that fast has paid off massively, and they've put themselves in a really comfortable position. And again, good ball from Toon. Another brilliant game from Ella Toon. She's very, very dangerous. She's had some brilliant link-up play. The assist for the first goal has had a couple of shots herself that have forced more saves out of Keating. But again, it's that same, voicing the same message of, in these big games, the likes of Ella Toon, the likes of Grace Clinton, they turn up. And from an England point of view, it's very exciting because if they can play like this in the Euros, then England have got a great shot at going far. But again, when a side need her most, in the big games where the big players make the difference, Ella Toone is the one who's performing. Ella Toone's the one who is outshining everyone, and a player that has enjoyed a very, very good 2025. We'll be hoping that continues as the year goes on. But Clinton getting the second goal from that corner. Really good ball in from Miyazawa into the danger area, into that 6-yard box. And Clinton, it's too easy. It's way too easy from Man City in their own penalty area. Clinton just, she starts in the 6-yard box. She just stands there. She nudges off prior as the ball comes in. And she's got a free header to head it into the bottom corner. In your own 6-yard box, though, it's absolutely shambolic from Man City. Someone's got to deal with that. Keating should come and claim it. One of the centre-halves has got to be more assertive. Someone in a light blue shirt has got to deal with that football. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter how. When the ball is in your own 6-yard box, someone on the defending team should get it clear. Someone in a City shirt had to make first contact there. So, really poor for the second goal from City. They'll be very frustrated to find themselves trailing by 2-0 because if it's only one goal, it's a very, very different game. A 2-goal lead against a side like Man United, who have defended the way they have this season, it's going to be very, very difficult for Man City. And they'll do very, very well to pull this back now. But United, you have to give them credit. I know I've said how poor City have been. They've let themselves down massively in defensive areas, but United have been absolutely brilliant. Again, just picking up where they've left off all season, they've been very, very good. They've consistently caused problems for teams, and again, doing very, very well in this game. And the problem comes for Man City is that we spoke about at the top of the show how their bench is very, very weak. They've only got a couple senior players on there. They've got no attacking options. They've only got 6 players on there, and 2 of them are goalkeepers. And Lazel's already had to come on. They've got nothing to bring on. They've got nothing to change. So suddenly they're in a position where with 45 minutes to go in the biggest game of their season, they've got nothing left. What they've got nothing to change. So it's now down to the 11 players on the pitch to turn that around. If they don't do that, then they've got no other options, and it's going to be a 45 minutes where they are going to succumb to their rivals once again this season, and Man United are going to end up in the FA Cup final for a second year running. And that will be disappointing for City because, again, we spoke about it earlier. Their lack of silverware is concerning, and if they don't turn this game around in the second half, it's going to be another season without a trophy and more pressure on the football club, more pressure on the board to start getting these decisions right. So, City, it's a big 45 minutes, but their problem is they haven't really got anything they can do to help their chances. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, they're stuck in that regard.
Yeah.
I think they've done well to keep going, to be fair.
They have, and I think that is important, is that in those last 10-15 minutes, they did improve. The likes of Caroline got on the ball and they looked much more dangerous. Caroline had a couple shots. But yeah, so United have 7 shots, 6 on target, compared to City having 5 shots, 1 on target. Clinicality from United has been absolutely incredible, and that's part of the reason why they're in such a good position.
Yeah, really strong. First half, United started fastest. City half asleep. United getting those first 2 goals in 20 minutes. I think since then they've taken their foot off the gas, but they had the margin they could afford to, and City had the lack of firepower coming forwards that I think United, in to an extent, got away with it. But yeah, I think maybe if City had scored 4 half-time, I believe that in the second half they could get a goal. They could just come out with a bit more desire. But yeah, I mean that one there, the chance right at the end of the half where Caroline comes down the left-hand side, someone else has got to anticipate that happening. Someone's got to be making that run to the edge of the box. That's inexcusable for me. Coombs and Murphy can both see what's about to happen. They should be busting the gut to get there.
Yeah, and that was a missed opportunity. But City, they're not out of this game, and that's the important thing to say. We saw this happen at the Etihad in the league. Is that it was the same thing. United started fast, played City off the park, took a commanding lead. The difference was though in that game is that when City got back into the game in the first half, they scored 2 goals. and they put themselves in the game. The problem is today they haven't scored any, and that is a very different story. If they've managed to get one back before the end of the 45, then it's a different game. But they're asking a lot to score 2 against United inside 45 minutes and hope that United don't score a single goal. But it's doable. Yeah. If they come out, if they get Caroline on the ball again, if they can get the likes of Park and Murphy involved, and they can start to cause some problems for Man United. They've just got to test them. That's all they can do now is test United and see what happens.
Yeah, Antonio says could have been 4-0. Summer says City are too used to playing Chelsea, Toon doing fab. Yeah, probably one of the best Toon performances since she played Man City in January.
Yeah.
They are her 2 best performances of the season, arguably. But yeah, great vision for the first goal from Ella Toon. I do think she should have done better, though. They very much could have had a third goal around 25 minutes, I think it was, where it settled up really nicely for her. She struck on her left foot straight at Keating. If she curls it to the far corner, then that is probably 3-0. But just one of those moments, really.
Yeah, again, without some top saves from Kiara Keating, this game could be 3 or 4-0. You mentioned that Toon chance. Bizet had that double attempt where one was saved by Keating 1-on-1, and then Bizet rushed the second one and put it wide. So, yeah, there's been some moments where United could definitely be more comfortable. If it wasn't for Kiara Keating, then this may be a game that's already over. But City, they are still in it, and they've got to use that. They've got to go out and believe. And I think Nick Cushing will get them up for it. I think Nick Cushing will still believe in his side to pull this back. And we'll have to wait and see. I think we're in for a really strong second half. Skinner will be keen that his side don't take their foot off the gas and they don't end up throwing this away. So I think we've got the 2 sides that are going to come out in this second half and look to play their best football and get themselves into that FA Cup final and join Chelsea, who played an absolute cracker against Liverpool yesterday, and 2 goals in either half of stoppage time in either half put them through, and that's what teams do. Better late than never for Chelsea. Will we get some late drama here? Will we get some extra time or penalties potentially? It's what we love about knockout football. We want to see these clashes go all the way, and well, from a neutral point of view, we want to see penalties and all sorts going on. But yeah, it should be. Whoever gets through, it will set up a really exciting FA Cup final. If City are to get through, we will have to watch Man City Chelsea again. If United get through, I think it could be a very, very exciting.
I'm all here for Chelsea City Volume 6.
I've had enough. It was funny it was not fine at 3 and 4. It was funny at 5. No, it was funny at 4. Sorry, it was slightly dull at. Well, it wasn't dull because Chelsea won that game 3-0.
I loved that game.
That was quite a good game actually.
The 5th game between them. I think the 6th game was even better.
I don't think we need a 6th though. That was a really good note to end on. Was that 5th game being an absolute Champions League classic?
Yeah. Fair enough. Michael says, well, I feel sorry for City. Too many injuries. If Shaw, Greenwood and Hemp were in the game, probably a different scoreline. Yeah, again, it's like last season for me. When you look at the difference between the 2 sides, think to last season, United had a bit of Champions League football. I know they weren't in it for long.
Yeah.
They'd just gone off second in the league, and they'd lost Russo, had a couple of injuries, stuff like that. City, no Champions League football, no injuries last season, really. No high profile injuries.
Yeah.
This season, though, City have been back in the Champions League. After finishing second last season, City have been back in the Champions League, playing a lot of football, loads of injuries. United flying, probably because they haven't had as many injury problems.
Yeah.
Because they've not played as much football. They've just had no injuries this season, really.
Yeah. And even the small things like international breaks where Letitia and Turner barely got a minute. So rather than coming into this game after playing 180 minutes each,
Toon got a rest as well.
Yeah.
In the Tuesday game. I know obviously Toon was out earlier in the season, so it's not like they've been completely injury free, but even that was only a month or 2, and United were better, arguably, without her after her sort of underperformance in the first few months of the season. But yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those where with the competitions coming thick and fast and the amount of minutes that teams are playing, it does sometimes. No side never wants to be out of the big competitions. Like both of these sides want to be in the Champions League, but from a City point of view, if it means they have a season where all their players get back to full fitness and they potentially go on and win a cup, and that's the difference between the 2 seasons. Is that United, when they weren't in the Champions League and things, they went on and were successful. When City have had their seasons out, can they go on and make make something from it?
Yeah, and City can do things to deal with their injury problem because they've probably had as many or arguably less first-team injuries than Chelsea this season. But the difference is Chelsea have still fielded a very strong team in every game because their squad depth is so immense and because in January they patched the holes they had. Khadija Buchanan was out with an ACL injury, so they went and signed Naomi Girma for a world record-breaking fee. Like that, I know obviously it's Chelsea, so they can afford to operate like that. But City have not strapped for cash. Sheikh Mansour is hardly going to food banks at the weekend. City could definitely fork out and have a squad that is just as deep.
It's one of those
they don't, and so yeah.
It's one of those problems that again stems back to, and again, in January they went and signed a Haskar replacement, which was good, but they also let go Chloe Kelly, who barely got a minute. But if they're all their forward problems, imagine they still had Chloe Kelly at the club.
Yeah,
it'd be another option.
Well, they've brought in a replacement for Hasegawa. She's not played.
They haven't played her, so what's the point in buying a backup if you're not going to use them? So it's just things like that, which has massively let them down. Decision making, I think, this season has cost Man City.
Yeah, and it may be that Ayama's not ready to play, but then why sign her as the backup to Hasegawa? They needed a player who's going to come in and be able to offer something, rather than someone who perhaps wasn't ready. But yeah, I think it's as Summer says. My view on the City injuries is just a matter of how far they can go. They obviously don't have the majority of their players, so just playing with what they've left with. Next season they can regroup and go from there. Yeah, I think this season's dead rubber at the moment now for City. Yeah. If this game goes, finishes the way it's going, then and I can't really see them finishing top 3 now. I think United will get a result against either Arsenal or City in the league, so they'll be all right.
I was thinking if United win that game, City could end up being 10, 11 points off the top 3.
United gets back underway. Ella 2 knocking it back to Letitia as we begin the second half. The other problem for City is the impact it will have on their ability to sign top players in the transfer window, because Eula Brand was a target for this summer. If they don't have Champions League football, that's not happening.
Caroline joined.
On the flip side, they signed Caroline because they had Champions League football.
That's the proof of how it can work. Yeah. Because would Caroline have joined if City didn't have Champions League football at the time? Potentially, probably not.
Yankees watching the stream says, "Do you know why Rord isn't in the squad?" No idea. No information on that. I don't think Cushing mentioned it in his presser. Not in the squad today. So that is a worry. Don't know why it wasn't mentioned, because it's not like she was in the squad and got injured. She just isn't in the squad today. Yeah.
I do think the pressers do better questions sometimes, by the way. Especially when you watch some of them. It's like some random questions do get thrown in there.
Yeah, the question should have been, where is Jill Rord?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was answered in the pre-match. Obviously, we can't hear what the managers are saying in their pre-match interviews, but George being a muscling off Kasparov there. Kasparov just try and get involved. That was a bit of a clumsy collision between the two, and that's a City throw, which Gabriel George is furious about, and I think probably lucky to get away without a card for that reaction.
I think she should probably just be quiet, because I think she was lucky to not give away a free kick, let alone get a throw. So I think I'd take the throw and just walk off. But and as we go on about City's problems, but if they do turn around in the second half, there'll be a massive silver lining to that very grey cloud that has been their campaign. If they do end up getting to 2 domestic finals, that would be something to be happy about.
Yankee says, Rod got arrested against Austria. She wasn't in the squad as well then. Well, that does point towards that not being arrested and that being an injury. Yes.
But he said she got arrested.
That's where she is.
Yeah. We should get another big miss for City today. Yeah. She is sat with the massive bench of injured players that we've seen so frequently in today's broadcast from the BBC. Yeah, this game isn't over, but I do think that what hurts City is that United know that. United and Skinner are very aware that this game is still in contention. What City could do is United switching off.
Park, really good hold-up play. Now Yui Hasegawa. Alexandri. Jess Park. Now Kirsten Kasparov. Looks to deliver it. Finds Park on the edge. Park wants to hit it. Really good from Miyazawa there. Just to close that angle. Kasparov up against George. Ball into the box. Chance for City. Headed away. Crucial header from Maya Letitia.
Wow.
But again, that's the problem. City would like to play that cross into the air to find the head of Viviana Miedemar or Khadija Shaw, but they don't have that option today. And so they're aiming for the head of Fowler, which isn't towering over everyone else.
Yeah, Caroline was lurking just behind Letitia. Letitia doesn't get there, then Caroline would have headed on target.
Sorry, Caroline, not Fowler. But that was who they were aiming for
Yeah.
earlier on.
Yeah. Was this a foul on Clinton from Coombs?
There's a few nibbles. I don't think there's enough to send her down the way she goes down, but I think Clinton is in that McKay bracket for me, with carrying favour with the refs. I think she's a brilliant player, Grace Clinton, but this season there's been so many decisions where she'll barrel into someone and doesn't get given, or she'll get hit the ground and it is given immediately. It's just really really weird.
Yeah. That one.
The goal against Aston Villa for me is the biggest one.
How he missed that.
She just throws someone on the floor, takes the ball away, and just smashes it into the goal. It's great effort, but it's a blatant foul in the build-up.
Yeah.
Here's Jade Riviere. Chips it in towards the back post, and almost there. United finding a third.
Keating didn't look as worried as I was, probably because she could tell it wasn't going in, but Riviere, again though, she takes a poor touch and gets away with it. City are letting United get away with it.
She's got the advantage of being there.
Well, I tell you what, that is
Did look like it might just dip
not far away at all from Jade Riviere. Completely accidental, obviously.
But that
But that looks like that's going in.
But it does just whistle past the post.
Very close. From Riviere, at 3-0, you'd think that would be game over.
Sagawa loses it to Clinton. George Galton. Touch isn't great. Does kind of throw from that though.
Yeah, smart. Just knocks it into the City player and wins her side a throw on. But yeah, United fans will be happy with what they've seen from their side today and this season, really. Very, very positive. And that what they do, they'd love to end this season with a trip to Wembley. And hopefully another FA Cup trophy.
Someone says, I reckon the ref was too scared to disallow Clinton's goal because it was such a screamer. Well, she shouldn't even have had a chance to kick it.
Also, I know one thing about Emily Heaslip. She loves...
Deny. Everything.
Yes.
Alexandre. Now Lazelle carries the ball forward well. Tries to knock it wide. Park will get there and the tenacious Park wins it back, and now here comes City. Kirsten Kasperai waiting for a chance to deliver the ball. Puts it into the box. Coombs not able to get there. Riviere heads it away. Cleared away by Clinton. Asagawa trying to create space for the shot. Takes too many touches in there.
Gosh, she did the right thing. She lined up the shoot first time, which is exactly what she should have done, and then decided against it and took 4 touches and lost the ball.
Even so, the other 3 touches before the 4th one could have been shots.
She just made the right decision and then backed out of it. Credit to Kirsten Kasperai, by the way. Doing an absolute shift as a makeshift right winger.
Park. She went down in there and that did look a bit clumsy from Grace Clinton.
Want to watch that one back because no one's really making any noise about it. I think it was okay, but
it's just clumsy.
Yeah,
but that's the kind of one that could have been given
from behind. Let's have a look. Does she get the ball? Yes. Yeah, that's a great
really good tackle from Clinton. Again, from when you watch from that angle, you can see how she hooks the ball round. From the other angle, you can't really see
But
that.
even when the ball falls to Coombs on the penalty spot, she should do better with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. City, again, though, they've started well. They've started the second half well, but the problem is you feel like they've got to get a goal soon to give them momentum, but also to give them a chance.
And that played there well by Lazelle. That allows United to just keep working their way up the line.
And the other thing I will keep coming back to is that even if City get one back, is the 11 on the pitch enough? They haven't got any firepower to bring on. Whereas United will call upon Melvin Mallard, Rachel Williams, Janssen to come on and just... Yeah, they've also got a lot of defensive options, to be fair, United, if they need it. Noel Soon, Janssen, Mannion.
Sandberg,
yeah. A lot of players who could just come on, just rotate through that kind of defensive third and give them an extra security if they need it.
I know to progress. City trying to come forwards. That comes off George, is out for a City throw, and they want to make it happen quickly. Lazelle. Here is Harvey. Have City got next weekend off, or is it what they're playing?
No, it's WSL again, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but the WSL game week split over the next 2 weekends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a lot, yeah.
Why have they done that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, right. I didn't know there was an actual reason.
No, I assume it's the Champions League.
Caroline offside again. United are doing well to hold that line.
It is all this weekend.
All right.
It's Chelsea game that's moved. City on Sunday.
And the Arsenal game, no?
Yeah, Arsenal game's moved forward. Chelsea game is late.
United doing well to hold that line, but they're not even doing that. They're still on the halfway line. So all Carolina's got to do is stand their own half. That's the third or fourth one this game. Just sloppy. I don't mind if a player makes a run over the top and they just get it wrong, but it's mild. It's a yard at least.
Oh, yeah. Caroline's on the nose, so.
Just got to be more aware of that line.
A bit of information on Rord from Yankees. Rord has a small injury. She'll be reviewed for the next couple of weeks. So that's another player out for Man City then, Jill Rord.
That is the City thing this season, is that just players pick up small issues for a couple of weeks.
But the problem is that it keeps happening because they keep bringing them back quickly.
Yeah.
So a player has a small issue for a couple of weeks. They are rushed back after 3 weeks. They play a couple of games. Suddenly the small issue's back.
And it's a bigger issue now because they've forced it. I mean, again, Mary Fowler.
If they are out of the FA Cup, Rord shouldn't play again this season. Just rest them.
Yeah.
Because
and
there's nothing to play for. They don't need to rush players back.
Just play Murphy, Caroline and Park as the front three for the rest of the season. And just...
I'm sure less so, obviously, because she'll have this summer off.
Yeah.
But I think if you've got European players who you can rest up.
Don't rush Hemp back. Don't rush Greenwood back.
I know the City will want to try and get third in the league.
But it's Mars.
Because they have to try and do it, don't they?
Yeah.
Caroline. Nice drive inside. Can she get shot away? Pulled down in there by Grace Clinton, and that one is penalised. And City with a free kick in a dangerous area, and Grace Clinton rightfully into the book for that one.
Yeah, that's a smart foul. It's in a dangerous area, but she's prevented Caroline from getting a good shot. It's brilliant. She picks up on the byline, skims past one, skips past two, darts inside. Clinton knows what she's doing.
It's a smart foul unless this gets put in the top corner.
Yes. And Mirzai was right there, to be fair, so she might have been alright, but I can understand from her position why she's done that, because if Caroline lets fly, could be in trouble. But as you say, it could become a costly foul if Caroline now steps up and puts it in the top left.
It's the right sort of range, isn't it?
She has to go.
That's going to take.
So I think that could fire City into a perfect position and get the crowd starting to cheer out, get the side going.
It's really central, isn't it? So it could go either way. Well, actually, you want a bit.
Got to get it over the wall, no matter what.
Asagawa takes it. It's a good effort. Brilliant save from Charles Joyce. Reacted to. What a save from Charles Joyce. A huge double save from Fallon Charles Joyce. No right to get to that one.
No way.
Should have a goal.
No way.
Caroline. And that's blocked out for a corner, and that gives us a chance to see a replay. That was ridiculous.
Way.
Stops the free kick up onto the bar. Murphy reacts, and she reacts with the foot. Outrageous stop from Fallon Tullis Joyce.
That's ridiculous.
City can't believe how unlucky they've got. That's a great free kick. A ridiculous save, and she reacts wonderfully. And Murphy could have had a goal there. Asagawa could have had a goal there. But Tullis Joyce having none of it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Murphy should do so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. She's that close, but what a save. I mean, yeah, the free kick save alone was a top save to tip it onto the crossbar. Absolutely brilliant. But to follow up and just get that left boot to it, to poke it away, absolutely world class.
Clumsy from Coombs there, bringing down Bizet. Philly says, starts having some season. The American fans are starting to realise just how good she is too. Yeah, I saw a lot of Americans asking for her to be part of the squad in the last international break.
It's a brilliant save. It is a world class save. But Lily Murphy has to score. Has to score. It's a terrible header. But that is a game defining moment. If Talis Joyce doesn't save that, City are right back in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Harvey tries to poke it inside. One back in there by Clinton. Coombs on her back. Clinton finds Riviere. Back now to Maya Letitia. Now here is Talis Joyce. Launching one forwards. One back in there by the City head. Flicked on there by Casper towards Park. Doesn't quite come off. That'll run through to Grace Pryor. Keating. Lifts it out to the left-hand side. Or Harvey pokes it forwards. And that is one back and cleared away by Turner.
Big half an hour now. That you feel like that was the moment for City. That was the moment to get one back and put themselves right back in the game. They've been the better side second half. United really haven't put a dent, but they know exactly what they're doing. That's the whole.
Dragged down there by Clinton.
That's another foul from Clinton. It's a stone wall foul. Similar to the one against Villa. Just pull Coombs back from behind.
Just throw her on the floor.
Yeah.
I spoke about it earlier, but she just gets away with everything.
So not even like... Because like with players like McCabe, they're smart. They're small ones that are easy to go unnoticed. It's the little things. But it's really deliberate.
It's really good from Asagawa. Here's Murphy. Don't know how the lino seen that from there. That's one of the difficult ones, isn't it? Well, they've got to make a decision, but that definitely didn't look like it's gone off from our angle.
What's a free kick back? It's a great free kick. It's a brilliant free kick from Asagawa.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's really good, but it is just about savable.
Yeah. Oh, Murphy. It's a shocking header.
Away from the only player who can stop it.
But also, she heads it down. If she just heads it normally, Talis Joyce doesn't get there. Oh, and Alexander's been pickpocketed by Bizet.
Now, Toon.
Can Clinton get that? Yes, she will.
Puts in there, flicks up off of Caroline. Miyazawa, that's poor, and that's cleared away by Casper. Caroline will give chase. Riviere blocked there by Murphy. And then Riviere thrown on the floor. Given a foul.
Another one from Murphy, where she's just tried to win the ball back and ended up just barreling into the player and knocking them down from behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll know she should have scored that.
If only her name was Lily Clinton, then she just ran on with it all.
Big half an hour.
Letitia lays it into Celine Vise. One back in there by Harvey. Now Hasegawa. Carries the ball well.
It's nice, but then she goes back
to Alexandra.
So that whole drive from her was pointless.
Yeah, there wasn't any space there. That's the problem. Coombs. Pass is intercepted by Jade Riviere, and they'll carry it forwards now. Here's Hasegawa, forced down in there by Turland.
Yeah, Laura Coombs is one of them. I think she's on her day. She's a good player. I think that she's a very good squad player for City. Has done well when called upon, but in these big games, just I don't want to say not good enough because she obviously she's the top player. But
that's ball from Alexandri, and that's worse from Alexandri. And here come United. Clinton. Good recovery from Park. Important tackle from Coombs. And they've recovered that. For Alexandri there. This season's been littered with errors. And that one there, another one, they got away with it. But there was 2 errors in there. And the problem is, again, like we've seen a lot this season, she'll make an initial error and then makes a bigger error trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, she just needs to calm down. I'm liking this libero role from Alexandri now, though. City are experimenting. And why not? I mean, this is why not, because they are about to get opened up again. And Alexandri
wins by committing a foul and gets away with it.
What is happening? Alexandra just keeps giving the ball away and running into people. Alexandra not doing anything.
Either Alexandra gives it away and then fouls someone to win it back, or she gives it away, she wins it back and then gets fouled, and the ref's just like, the ref's just not stopping either of them. Just letting everyone kick lumps out of each other.
I want to see her and Clinton foul each other, is what the ref does.
Yeah.
Ball in behind, chance for Grace Clinton in on goal, should score. Tries to go across goal there and it's blocked. Bizet strikes it, saved by Keating. No one, don't know what is happening for City.
That was like table football. The defence couldn't move and they just had to watch Bizet run onto it and shoot. Why has no one ran to the football?
They were just there. I don't.
Ball gets cut back. They deal with it initially, and then they all just stand there.
Alexandra can run out. She decides, she's got so much time to get out to that.
I feel sorry for City fans having to watch that.
And instead, the City defence decided to set to be able to block it.
If I had to watch my defence,
what Alexandra's doing. The rest of the defence makes sense. They're all set to block it. They're all expecting, oh, that's right, Alexandra's going to go and put pressure on that. And she just goes, right, I'm going to set to block it. Bizet was a mile away. It was comedic how they just stood there waiting for the shot to come.
Genuinely put them all on a metal pole and just get Nick Cushing at the sideline to control them.
Coombs. There's so much space on the right hand side. She plays on the left hand side. Murphy plays it through to Caroline. Caroline wasn't aware.
Why have she not told her?
Well, no, but Caroline's made that initial run and pointed forwards. Murphy's played it there, and Caroline just didn't think it was coming.
Yeah, but I mean, surely Murphy just goes, Caroline, I'm passing to you. And then Caroline knows it's going to her.
No, Caroline's looking the wrong way, actually. It was a bit before she was pointing. I don't know what's going on. It's a good ball from Murphy if Caroline was aware of it. She's playing FIFA. You press pass and the AI has made a run over that way. It's really annoying. Clinton. Here is Hasegawa.
Sometimes for City it's just the basics. Like, that's just communication. All Murphy needs to shout.
But again, that comes from the fact that you've got a player who's probably not the most confident.
No.
And hasn't played at this level much, and also hasn't played for these players much.
No.
Khadija Shaw looks frustrated and bored on the sidelines.
All the City injuries just look bored. Yeah. I mean, I keep zooming out. To be fair, some of them are youth prospects. So not all injured, but there are.
I think they are all injured.
Oh. Now we've stopped the professional football game for Grace Clinton to her laces.
And Taylor's going to get booked for that.
Taylor's been booked for time wasting because Clinton's doing her laces.
Well, she's right though, because Taylor can't hold on to the ball because Grace Clinton's doing up her laces.
We're not 8. You know, we kick the ball.
The game doesn't start for laces. What is this? So rightfully, the referee books Taylor's Joyce. Much to the annoyance of Letitia and Taylor, like she's doing her laces. It doesn't matter.
My hands are a bit cold, go over. So to get the refs there.
Ref, you do my laces.
Now this speaks volumes of where United's mentality is at right now, and understandably so. Dominic Janssen is going to be entering the field shortly. You'd expect that to be for Grace Clinton.
Summer says hopefully the yellow card will stop the 70-minute sit-down featuring magic tape. Well, no, it won't, though, because you're allowed to do as many of those as you want. It's not time wasting if you've got a horrible injury. Murphy up against Jade Riviere.
Oh, lovely.
Looks to take her on. Brilliant from Murphy. Ball across the box, and Turner does really well to turn that behind.
Yeah, it's unorthodox, but she does well because her body positioning isn't correct, but she does well to adjust because if she doesn't adjust here, it's an own goal. So she does gets a bit fortunate, to be fair. Because
the thing is, her body position isn't what you'd expect to deal with a cross.
No. I think, to be fair, I thought she'd well to adjust, but no, she just got fortunate and rebounded over rather than in. But a City corner, another chance to get themselves right back into this tight. They've competed in the second half. They've done very, very well. Just haven't managed to find the back of the net. Mostly part of
Harvey.
Tapanta's choice.
Ball into the box. That is over everyone.
Wow.
And now they'll look to break here, United. Clinton. Up the line. 2. Nice touch. Wants to take on the player. Is that a play? Changes now.
Yeah.
United are bringing off Grace Clinton.
Makes sense, that.
Her luck is running thin. And she's off for Dominique Janssen. Just short the midfield. And make sure Clinton can play in the final.
Yeah.
And it was Grace Clinton who got that important goal that gave them the second of the game.
Yeah, good header. Does well. Not the tallest player in the world, but use her physicality just to beat off Pryor and head it home. Another good game from Clinton. Yeah, Janssen back into the 11 just to see this result through for Manchester United. City have just got to throw everything at it now.
Kasparov sends it up the line. Caroline tries to hold on to it, and that is out for a United throw, which Caroline's not happy about at all. She felt she was forced to the floor there by Gabby George.
Yeah. Her complaints aren't going to get her far, though.
Chelsea fans, thank God I still have the Chelsea women to be happy for. Yeah, well, it could be worse, Chelsea fan. At least it was a draw in the end.
Oh, Chelsea put it back.
Yeah, 2-2. Not 3-2, though, but a point at least. 2 on Xavier stuck on his own net and Sancho.
Oh. Now, Man City hoping they can turn this 2-0 deficit around. A lot of work to do, though.
Indeed.
Again, I think that free kick and that double save from Taylor's Joyce was the turning point. If one of those goes in, it's 2-1. City are in it, but at 2-0, there's still a lot of work to do.
Ridiculous double save.
Oh, it's just
Should no right to the first one, let alone the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, the second one, as much as the actual saving motion was a bit of hit and hope, she just jumped at it. It was the reaction to get up and to go from the floor to a jumping motion takes a lot.
I don't think Cushing has been anywhere near his technical area today.
No.
I've not seen him sit down once. I've not seen him even in the technical area. He has been on the touchline the entire game. I love it.
Get BBC down there. Get a heat map.
That's what one of their journalists is doing today. Ball chip to the left-hand side. Gatson would have been hard pressed.
I think that's the thing with Mark Skinner is I actually quite like how dynamic he is in terms of his managerial style. Like today, when they take an early lead and they're just being conservative, he is conservative. He's sat down and he's relaxed. When they need a goal and they need to be passionate and play fast-flowing football, he's right up on that touchline.
First 20 minutes, him and Cushing were competing for touchlines.
Who can get on the pitch? Do you think they're point scoring?
They're fencing, but with who can get on the pitch.
I hope the fourth official didn't notice.
Without the fourth notice. If not, that doesn't count.
No. If she caught you, it's a minus a point. I love that. The idea of them doing that in an FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, the passengers just space there, and no one wanted it. Jade Ribeiro picked it up. Celine B say, "Will Harvey does well." That one, that was taking the mick. If you think that was silly.
I like the audacity, not the audacity, but the attempt to try and con.
Pretty much in the stands.
If that was in the centre, should have ran into Nick Cushing.
Probably ran around him, actually.
Yeah.
He'd have kept it on. Riviere launches it forwards. Alexandri's header now parked towards the right-hand side. Kasparov will give chase. And George smashes one back to the goalkeeper. She can't pick that up, so Tyler's Joyce will be put under pressure here by Caroline. And that's launched into the home end.
But she does the right thing there. She takes her touch. She knows it's going to be a heavy touch because it's fizzed at her. So she takes it sideways rather than forwards, because if it goes forwards, suddenly Caroline's going to be all over it.
I have to say, I'm incredibly disappointed with the amount of red in the home end as well.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed today.
That is poor.
Alexandri.
Really
nice touch. Oh, keeping it alive. It's then dealt with.
I think City need a goal in the next 8 minutes to give themselves a chance.
Who are Harvey? Just says the last time we faced Man United in the FA Cup final, we beat them with a Sam Kerr winner. If we do that this year, I'm on the pitch.
I wasn't. That's another
I
great.
get
goal.
myself banned from Wembley Stadium.
Wouldn't be worth it at all.
No. 2.
No.
Cleared away there by Alexandri. I think I hit the roof at the Joey and I stayed in. I think that genuinely did. That's what happened.
Oh yeah.
It
Came down with snow on it.
It's that bit. It's still that bit's above the pitch. The bit that says Joey
Surely
Stadium in
not.
black. I don't know what happened.
I don't think it did.
Looked like it.
Also, if it hit the roof, the referee has to stop play. It's not like indoor football where if someone just led it to the roof, everyone just keeps playing.
Or it gets stuck up there and then you have to wait for it to come down. Everyone do it
Poe.
underneath. One of that was at the Bernabeu. You clear it really high and they put the roof on. I mean, to be fair, you'd have to be hitting it with some gusto. You'd have to. I think you'd have to intend to hit the roof.
Well, I think Lacra could if she really wanted to. Some of our clearances against Arsenal are brilliant.
I think if Real Madrid women are ever allowed to play at the Bernabeu, I'll be shocked.
That's
That's
not a good one.
That's a blatant foul. Is the ref
What?
wearing sunglasses with a really strong tint today because she's not seen anything?
That's a stone wall. That's a stone wall yellow card and a free kick.
Get her a guide dog or something.
How was that like? The ball goes long from City. Caroline knocks it past Letitia, and Letitia just cleans her legs out.
Don't know. Honestly, don't know.
I was about to say she'd be lucky to not go into the book, but she's not in a free kick.
Ball in from 2, playing by Keating.
Not been a good performance. It hasn't impacted the game massively, but it's just been a consistent.
But it's not been big decisions.
That one. I mean, that's another one.
Bizarre.
And now Letitia would be in trouble. Caroline again. But if that earlier foul had been given, Letitia was on a yellow, she'd be in trouble.
And Cushing's not happy because that's 2 there.
Skinner's just getting involved. And they're saying it's 2, and the fact that Letitia's then led with the elbow. Let's have a look. No, it's in the back.
Yeah, but she's led with the elbow into the back. You
Yeah,
see that. Look. That's just really forceful.
Yeah. But again, if she's on a yellow card, she's in big trouble. I mean, if she doesn't get booked now, I'll be absolutely stunned.
I wouldn't.
That's true.
Just like the Family Guy meme, where the passport controller is just acceptable and it's white. Not acceptable.
Surely she's going to get booked. I mean, it's just. I don't mind when the 50-50s or the difficult ones to spot don't get called. Fair enough, but the blatant ones that go under the radar sometimes are incredible. Opportunity then for both sides to get some drinks on board and to get some final tactical instruction. Both players still down the deck, by the way. Letitia is now back to her feet, and surely she's be greeted by a yellow card. Yes, she will be.
Hallelujah.
Easiest yellow card of the day. The fact there's even a discussion from Letitia is very bizarre. If I say I'd walk off, I'd just walk away from the referee. Oh, blimey. That is some force that she's flown in there with. But again, both players back to their feet then. Yeah. We'll get back to playing football.
It's a foul in rugby.
Yeah.
Nothing's a foul in rugby,
No.
but that would be.
Unless you go for the neck.
Oh, no, even then.
And that's only a yellow card.
Knock someone out. Grab the ball. Go and jump on the end, or whatever they do.
Jump on the end.
Sport.
13 to play. It would be some comeback from City if they had to put it back now, but you never say never in football.
Box office. If City come back in.
It's be the best 13 minutes we've ever seen in the FA Cup.
I really want Caroline to score because she's got her celebration in her hair.
Is she?
So if have you not seen the little love heart with the braids?
No. Oh yeah, I didn't realise that was a celebration.
Yeah, 'cause she goes like that, doesn't she?
I didn't know
I
that.
think.
Um,
It's been a long time since she
Well,
scored.
she scored against Chelsea. Yeah, he had. It's quite recently.
I don't think she did it that one then.
Mm.
Gatton breaking away,
Oh.
clips there blatantly, and that will be a yellow card for Lazell.
This is what I mean. This is what I think frustrating about some referees is that you go for a no card.
Well, that one is.
I know that one is, but you go for no cards for like 60 minutes, and then suddenly we've seen 5 in 18.
I don't know if that's the problem with the referees. It's just football.
Maybe.
Because that's just frustrating. You
I
have
guess
things
that-
like
yeah, the
frustration
fouls
coming
build
in for a
up,
team that's
yeah.
losing, for a team that's winning. You're holding on, so you have to commit tactical fouls and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to barrel into Kerolin. That's a choice, but Gatton knocking it towards Turlin, playing well by Kiara Keating, and City will be keen to get this ball going quickly. Keating lumping it forwards. Turner brings it down. Pokes it back the other way. Hasegawa picks up on it. Thought that ball was going in behind to Kerolin, but didn't quite settle nicely. George with a big tackle. Kasparov will keep chasing. Turner knocks it out of play. Oh, it's kept it up by Galton. And Gabby George down here.
Yeah, on the stretch.
Galton either hasn't seen this or isn't interested. She's still going, but that is out now for a throw.
Another brilliant recovering tackle, but really done herself. Is it just cramp, actually? I think it might be cramp. No, it's not. It's a calf issue.
No, it's worrying.
Yeah.
For Gabby George.
Another brilliant performance from her today. 79 minutes. Another, top quality. Really good defensively.
Sambo's coming on.
Yeah, I think that change was happening anyway, but you might definitely going to make it now. No risks. 10 minutes to play. United know exactly what they need to do. Yeah, no, that's a great tackle. On the stretch.
The problem is you have to make so many of those.
Yeah. But she's getting there. But also, yeah, it's now pulled her up. So Laetitia now calling her fellow teammates into a huddle. There's a couple players missing, actually. Anyway, it's important. They're doing well. They're getting instructions in. It makes sense.
Well, it looks more like they're arranging a goals five-a-side team with how few players have gone over to this huddle.
Riviera's left out. George is on the floor.
No, Sunzori, not Sambo coming on.
No, Sambo's also coming on.
Of course. That makes sense.
Making the double. You'd expect Mitzawa and George then to make way. So yeah, George definitely. Okay, we're good.
No, well, we're gone then. That's all right. Right. 10 minutes left to go. George coming off then for Sandberg. Narsoon. Who's saying you think she's on for?
I'd expect Mitzawa.
Yeah, unless they go really defensive and bring off two.
Potentially. Which actually that's a good point. Yeah,
the two are coming up.
Part on the bus now, United.
Indeed.
Makes sense. And Laura Weinreuther is going to be carrying on for Manchester City as well. Not sure who for, to be completely honest. It's not an attacking change.
Where?
It's a change, I think, is more. What?
Alexandre moved Lizelle to centre back or something like that.
Maybe.
Just rest someone who's played a lot of minutes. Laura Weinreuther's coming on. Murphy's coming off.
I don't get that. I don't think Murphy's had a brilliant game, but you just keep all the attackers you keep as many attackers on the pitch as possible. But they haven't done that.
Weinreuther's gone to the right side. Lizelle to centre half. Alexandre middle of field.
Yeah.
Park out wide.
They're going for it. Kind of.
I don't know if going for it's the word, but
they've made a change.
They've moved everyone around a bit.
Yeah. Realistically, any attempt now is going to be difficult. They've had chances across the first and the second half. They've been the better side second half, just not made it count. Not been clinical. Have had big chances of falling to the wrong players at times. But they've competed in this second half. But again, third choice, at Arsenal or second choice at City. So she chose second choice at City.
The problem with second choice at City means you don't play until there's loads of injuries. Then suddenly you play
That is true.
every game all the time.
Yeah. Until you get injured.
Here's Caroline.
Again, City.
Not sure about Letitia. They've got to be better at team management next season. City.
Yeah.
They didn't rotate enough.
They need to bring in someone who has experience with not only squad building but squad management, because they've got the players.
Louis Cortez.
They've got the players to win trophies, but they've got to keep those players fit.
That's the talking point of the summer, isn't it? Looking forward to next season in the WSL. I mean, unless Chelsea sign Tracy Rodman, in which case, back it in. Don't bother. But move into the SWPL or something like that. But I think that'll be a talking point. Who do City go and get as their manager?
Yeah.
Because I don't think Cushing's going to stay. And I'm not sure he's the right man for the role.
I really worry they go and get a project manager.
Yeah. And then just go on Grand Designs instead. Here's Caroline. Oh, it depends. Are City at a point where they can win trophies with their current squad?
Yes.
Are they?
They've got the best striker in the world. They've got...
Sam Kerr doesn't play for them.
Hey. No, they're not. They've got players in their prime.
Yeah.
I think Hemp, Shaw, Greenwood, Miedemar, these are players who should be winning trophies now.
I wouldn't say Miedema's in her prime. I think she's past her prime.
No, but she can still win trophies. She's at the quality where she should be winning trophies.
Shaw's a big one because she is fast approaching 30. And City, I think, are at real risk of losing her.
She's like Harry Kane.
Yeah,
all the
they
individual
have won
awards.
something, haven't they?
Was she there for the League Cup?
Sure
win?
has won something.
I don't know.
Look.
But even so, she's not won as many team trophies as she should have at this point in her career. For the quality that she is.
But it's difficult when she's not played for the best team in the league.
That is true, but still...
Yeah, she won the League Cup in 21-22.
So she's won one domestic...
And the FA Cup runner-up that year.
Oh, they don't get runner-up. Means nothing. But yeah, so she, in her whole domestic career, she's won one.
This is her club honours on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
3 on. This is her individual honours.
That's incredible. And that's what I mean. She's won so many individual...
You can't see it.
But she's won so many... Basically, she's won about 15, 20 individual trophies, but one.
3. One of which is a runners-up, and one of it... And
It's international.
Jamaica, 3rd place twice.
I don't... What else? That's not an achievement.
In CONCACAF, that is.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
They're the best team that isn't Canada or US.
Bizet, by the way, being replaced. What a performance from Bizet.
Yeah.
Brilliant today. She is replaced by Ethan Mannion, I think. No, Mallard.
Would be rogue. Everyone wants to put their fullbacks at winger today.
I think it's more defensive change. But yeah, Mallard coming on. And that's why Mannion was coming on for Riviere. I did see Mannion. High fives all round on that United bench. They think it's job done, and it probably is at this point.
But back to my point, I don't think City are right. I think a rebuild is needed at City to a certain extent. It's just, I don't know.
I don't think not yet though. I agree. I think in maybe 1 season, 2 seasons time.
My problem is City can double down on everything now, but is City's full strength side good enough to win a trophy and full strength squad? Because yes, maybe their full strength side can win an individual game, but we've seen this season their squad's not enough to get it done. I think United are closer. I think Arsenal are closer, and I think Chelsea at the moment don't look like they're going to drop a trophy domestically.
But also it depends what trophy. Because I think you could say that yes, they've got the quality to go and win a League Cup or an FA Cup, but that's not where City want to be. They want to be winning titles. They want to be winning Champions Leagues. I mean, they probably like to win an FA Cup at this point, but so yeah, maybe. But I mean, I wouldn't go take a risk on a young up and
I just think when you look at the whole team, I get what you mean. But if they got Dario Vidicic this summer, I think that's a great
Yeah,
appointment.
they need to find a balance. But again, though, he's had a season of dissect. I think they need to find a right balance.
But Vidicic is someone who would come in, and there are definitely flaws in his system, and so they're not going to go and win something first year.
No.
Or they're unlikely to win something first year. But if they gave him time, I think he'd come good. The problem is there aren't many trophy-winning managers that are available. Nick Cushing is one of the few.
And he doesn't
The problem is, because Emma Hayes won everything, she's the only trophy manager around. And Chelsea went and found the other one.
Who won everything
Who
in
won
France.
everything in France. And you're not going to get Geraldes, and you're not getting Pere Romeu, and you're not getting Montemuro. And so, who competes right now? And I think what Arsenal have done by bringing in Rene Slegers, who is an unknown, is, they're not winning anything this season. Or if they won the Champions League, then fair enough.
Honestly, I don't like the thought of that.
I can't see that happening.
But if that does happen, fair enough.
But I think there are flaws in the way Slegers has set up at times. I think there are flaws in the way she does her substitutions. I think her tactics are probably too simple to win a league. But there is a project there. She is a good young manager. That's what I think City have got to look at.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That United away end, but in strong support and in full voice, because they know their side are a matter of minutes from reaching the FA Cup final.
I also think if City want to keep pushing for trophies, they don't. There's no real need to get rid of Gareth Taylor immediately.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Who else they going?
I think they'll look back on that decision and say they got it wrong. They took a punt on the fact they might be able to win the League Cup or get through the Champions League.
It's difficult to say they've been any different, but the fact that they've lost,
it couldn't have been worse.
They've been knocked out of everything. Yeah, exactly.
It genuinely couldn't have been worse.
They could have lost all of the games against Chelsea.
But that wouldn't have...
And there is still a very slim possibility that City get Champions League through the league. I just don't see that happening now.
Yeah.
Because United have just been too good this year.
Yeah.
I can't see them dropping points. I can't see them losing to City at Old Trafford on the 4th.
No.
Nike says, hey, do you think LJ will be back for the final, or is she out for the season? We've got no news on that. Lucky. She's gone for tests and stuff this week, so we should find out, hopefully, in the press conferences ahead of the Barcelona game.
Yeah.
Yeah. My crystal ball, unfortunately, wasn't working this morning, so I have no idea.
It's a shame. The updates and the information is so much better.
Yeah.
Because there's too many times where it's like, this player is out, but we don't know how long for, or we don't know if this player's out or not. United taking it to the corner.
The problem is as well, because you've got the added thing in the men's game, which added game in the women's game, which you don't have in the men's game, which is pregnancies. It's difficult because like a player could be out and it's like, oh, why? But it turns out they're pregnant, and they don't necessarily want to announce that to the world immediately.
Because like Musovic was one, she rotated with Hampton in the Cup and the Champions League, and then she just stopped doing that all of a sudden.
Yeah, and so people draw the conclusion, oh, Musovic isn't playing for Chelsea anymore, she's just there as the backup now.
Yeah.
And they've chosen Hampton's number one, but actually, and that one they got away with. But there'll be other situations where you can't really get away with it. It's not fair that you have to make players announce their pregnancy.
Yeah.
But then it's also it's a difficult situation for the club, because if you just suddenly drop a player and in the press conferences you can't explain why.
Yeah. Also, this could sound weird, but also Hannah Blundell has timed it brilliantly, by the way, because it's come at a time where United have got loads of fullback options and have quality fullback options.
Well, they signed another fullback to replace her, that's why.
Well, yeah, which is something Man City don't do anymore. Or they haven't done.
Yeah, well, you can't really predict injuries. You can predict babies.
That is true. To a certain extent. Hang on.
Expected baby stats are coming. We get XG.
XP. Expected pregnancies.
Oh, dear. Oh, you have to send that one on under that.
We're developing a new stat in the women's game.
Someone called Opta. Gerwin, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, says, well done, we can compete with the big team now. I assume we're talking about Man United and not expected pregnancies. Yeah, United have done very well this season. I think they are back where they were 2 seasons ago when they were probably the second best side. It's close to them and Arsenal. Obviously, now Arsenal are second in the league. They are both joint on points, though, and that could come down to when those two sides face each other. It's also going to come down to the fact that United have got to play City and Chelsea as well. But yeah, they're in a really good position now. I don't think again, it's helped them that they've not had Champions League football this season.
Yeah.
But it's hurt them in the fact they weren't able to sign better players. And I think they'll be better for Champions League football next year. They've also got players in their squad who they need to have Champions League football to retain. And I think that's why last summer, partly because they just didn't offer them contracts, but also why Zellum, Earps, Garcia, arguably two of those were their best players last season, in Garcia and Earps, they all left on free. So I think this summer will be a lot more productive.
It's an important window.
But they improve.
They've already got the skeleton of good backups. The fact today they're bringing on Janssen and Mallard and that, they have got a decent core. But they do need a big summer. But yeah, I think the other thing for United is that the consistency. Reaching back-to-back FA Cup finals shows that level of consistency is starting to build. It's been a little bit up and down since they got promoted to the WSL, but it's been back-to-back seasons where they've reached a domestic final, and it's going to be potentially their joint highest finish in the league. So it looks to be another really strong season next season. The big question next season for United is how can they build on that, because it will take a lot to build on this campaign. If they finish runners-up and get to the FA Cup final, whether they win it or not, how they build on that is going to be a big ask, because it's hard to go one step further.
News says after today's Barca game and Spain in the Nations League, I can confidently say we're getting through Chelsea. Well, that's good. After such scientific methods, I can't disagree now. After Barcelona beat a completely irrelevant team in the equation, and after Spain beat Portugal twice, you must be right.
What was the Manchester derby, by the way?
Yeah, that's also true. But no, I think before the Barcelona game, I'm just not going to say anything. Preview silence. I'm just going to wait till after Barcelona Chelsea, and then
I will talk. So still watch the preview when it goes out.
I'm joking. I'll talk. I regret all of my work. I refuse to say anything.
I've got to talk for 25 minutes.
It doesn't look like you're just doing the video yourself. I'm just awkwardly sat there.
Not even like nodding or agreeing or saying anything.
Sends it forwards. Header one by Mannion.
City have huffed and puffed in this second half, but it's just not enough. That brick house United has stopped the big bad wolf. Yeah, it's again they just
the big bad wolf.
Gave themselves
all invited. Caroline gives a chance.
Too much work to do.
Choice.
United were always going to see out a 2-goal lead with the way they've defended this season. They're on for another clean sheet.
They're unlucky because their box defending for the corner was tragic, but they were down to 10 players in that moment, and that comes down to game management. The physios why you take.
I don't get how the sub wasn't ready.
The pitch before a sub
Fowler was down for 4 minutes, and no one decided to tell Lazelle to go and run and warm up.
Yeah.
Because she was part of the warm up. She warmed up only 20 minutes beforehand, so she would have been somewhat ready. It's just a complete miscommunication, a complete mess, which could have potentially cost them that. And then suddenly it's a completely different game at 1-0. Because City probably would have been a little bit more aggressive in this second half.
Yeah.
Because they've had to come out going, yes, we need 2 goals, but if we concede again, then we're completely done. But fair play to United. They've played it perfectly. And now the smiles and the laughs are breaking out on that sideline.
Mark Skinner's having a good time.
Some cracking jokes now. He's having a perfect, and he can't wait for another day out at Wembley. Not day out. And fun day. But yeah, back to that Wembley appearances for Mark Skinner and United. Very, very strong.
They keep trying to do this cinematic shot of Nick Cushing with 2-0 Man United in the background, but the football keeps getting in the way. That is the second time they've tried that.
It's like she knows what she's doing as well. The way she just stood there like proudly in the way.
But I don't know what I think's going to happen. Is she going to just move because the camera's on them? She doesn't even know the camera's there. And 30 fans are piling out. Is there a fire drill? Should be being signed by the United fans.
That is poor, by the way. There are... You're what? For the sake of 10, 15 seconds.
I guess you'd be also, United fans to train.
But also, no offence, but it's not at the Etihad or anything. You're at the Joey. it's not like the car park or the trains be absolutely rammed.
Like, to be fair, if the car park's anything like Colchester, they're not getting out for an hour, so I back it.
I'd expect it to be a little bit better than Colchester.
I'd expect it to be worse.
Well, no, because they'll use the Etihad car park as well, because it's all part of the same facility.
I still imagine it's a ball ache for a few thousand people to try and get out of a car park.
Oh, so they're going to leave early and just be first in the queue rather than in the middle. Never mind. I just think it's poor. Leaving a football game early. Unless it's an emergency.
I've seen a bit emotional on the sidelines.
Well, yeah, it's big for her. The FA Cup final. In a year in a season that definitely has had its ups and downs for her team. But the 2025 has been a massive up. Performance-wise, results-wise, on and off the pitch.
I can't wait to see that spun on social media. Mark Skinner makes Everton cry on.
Yeah, because he was cracking jokes at the same time. Like, he's sat there laughing, while she's almost in tears.
And this game drawing to its closure now. We're into the 99th minute. There must have been some sort of memo to get the games to 100 minutes this weekend.
Yeah.
And United fans are enjoying the occasion.
Yeah, they're loving it.
And that there is full time here at the Joey Stadium. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2, and for the second consecutive year, it's a trip to Wembley for Mark Skinner's United. And they'll face Chelsea on the 18th of May in the FA Cup final.
Big win over their rivals, back into the FA Cup final. Fair play to United, a big performance. They got the job done in the first 20 minutes and just held on. And while it's disappointment for Nick Cushing and Man City, frustration as well, you feel, at how this game played out. That is a big win for United. 2025 FA Cup finalists set themselves up to play Chelsea, which will be a brilliant final on the 18th of May. But yeah, big moment for United. A moment of celebration in what has been a brilliant season. And now they've got 5 games remaining to end what, and they could end up being runners-up and FA Cup champions. And suddenly, that is one hell of a campaign. So fair play to Mark Skinner. Big win today for City, though. Again, another disappointing result.
It does, however, mean that filming for episode 6 of Man City versus Chelsea is cancelled.
Hooray!
So going, but we will see United into the final again, where they will face Chelsea, a repeat of the 2022 final.
Wow, tasty.
Should be very tasty. Should be a good game. Join us there in 4-5 weeks' time. Very exciting times. Anyway, lots of football between now and then, because this weekend it's Champions League time. We've got a stream on Tuesday as well. Arsenal Leicester, that's going to be good fun. Back to WSL action, of course. But we're all really looking at the Champions League pictures, aren't we now? But join us there next weekend. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow morning to break down all of the FA Cup action across this weekend, to summarise our thoughts, so look out for that. Until then, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.